ETV Sports presents Eagan Wildcat Football. Tonight, the Wildcats take on the Wayzata Trojans.
They did come out and throw the ball a couple of times unsuccessfully, but they are showing that they're not afraid to mix it up.
And we've got a late flag on that play as Wayzata appears to be set to take over at their own 43-yard line. But let's see what the hanky is all about. That'll be our first infraction of tonight's ball game. And Vinny LeBaird on the way in for Eagan on the stop. Number 30, whose name we've called so many times this year on special teams.
It's 1/3 of the game, and certainly one that can keep games close and can let ones get away from you.
And it's going to be a holding penalty on the Trojans from Wayzata.
Okay.
They were going to start back at their own 31-yard line. Both teams coming into this game with 1-5 records. Both teams looking to get something going here as we are in week 7 of the high school football season. Playoffs will be starting 2 weeks from tonight on the 27th for the big schools in 6A. And Wayzata going to throw on first down, going to roll near side. He's got his man coming across the middle. Out near the 41, out near the 45. Big pickup for the Trojans. That's going to move the sticks. Quarterback for the Wayzata Trojans is Keaton Hidley. And I believe that was and it was tight end with the catch on that one, so it's a 14-yard pickup. You're going to say 13 officially on the pass for the Trojans, and a fresh set of downs at the Eagan 44-yard line. Keep an eye on Hidley. He likes to throw that ball for the Trojans. There he goes again. That's going to be another first down Wayzata, and that's going to be out near just across midfield, about to the 45. A little pushing and shoving there on the reception by Charles Engdahl, the senior wideout for the Trojans.
You know, like we were looking at some of the stats for the Trojans before the game started, and they have had their problems both on the ground and through the air, but right now they're dragging some receivers into some open space, and they're making completions.
Well, we looked at as we whistles up plenty out on the field, we looked at the stats from last week. Wayzata was down at Eastview last week, lost that one by a count of 18-7. Their total yardage in the game was 55.
That's tough to win football games when you're putting up those kind of yards.
And that included I believe it was a minus 43 in rushing. And they did throw for 98 yards, but their coach, Lambert Brown, said a lot of that negative yardage, that was due to sacks. Going to throw it on first down. He's going to go for it all. Got his man. That's going to be a touchdown Trojans. 46 yards to the house. And the reception, Tyree Sayon for the Trojans, 46 yards. And it's 6-0 Wayzata.
There is a flag.
In.
We do have a flag back behind the line of scrimmage, and that oftentimes it's a roughing the passer.
That's exactly what it was.
Oh,
so
boy.
46 yards, 3 plays, 69 yards. Drive took all of 50 seconds, 5-0. Boy, and that number 1 Sayon, he got behind his defender easily there. So PAT upcoming for the Trojans. And definitely not the way the Cats wanted to start here on Homecoming 2017.
No, you don't want the team to get out quick and with big plays against you. I think the Cats need to slow the tempo down and get a sustained drive and try to see if they can't move the ball themselves.
Reed Sanders for the PAT. And he missed it, so it's going to be 6-0 Wayzata. Well, if you're an Eagan fan, one positive, so to speak, is last week at Eastview, Wayzata ran the opening kickback. Didn't score again.
Right on.
So they were up 7-0 before they fell 18-7 in a very wet Eastview last week. Field that definitely deteriorated during the game. Cats, on the other hand, they were over at Prior Lake where they have turf. Didn't matter.
No, it did not matter.
Cats got the first 3, about 2.5 in. That was it, because Prior Lake got the next 44 in a dominating performance by the Lakers.
It definitely got out of hand in a hurry, and again, too, it was very insidious. It wasn't like a big chunk. They just kept adding points, and adding points. The defense obviously spent a lot of time on the field last Friday.
So now Wayzata's going to be able to kick off from the Wildcat 45. Few options here for the Trojans. Do you just kick it through, put Eagan at the 20? Do you pooch kick it? Do you dare go for the onside?
Well, that opening kickoff by Wayzata, the kicker didn't have a ton of leg. I think we fielded it about the 20. So this one I would just swing away if it were me, Mike.
I'm thinking pooch kick, but we will see. One of us could be right. We could both be wrong, and they try the onside.
We'll see what happens here.
As we said, the kicker for the Trojans is Reed Sanders. Tate Sundberg is the man deep for the Wildcats. You can hear the pit, and the pit is packed in tonight for homecoming. And kind of split the difference there.
He sure did.
Sundberg from near his own goal line, and he will get out and still on his feet, gets out near the 20-yard line. For about half the Trojan special teams that on that tackle, looked like number 45 might have been the first man in, Nash Walker, the senior linebacker. So Caden Hansen and the Wildcat offense heading out onto the field. As you said, they 2 incompletions in that first drive, and Carter Lyons with a run for -1. Should mention for the Wildcat fans, Carter Lyons is normally number 9. Ripped that jersey really bad last time we were home. Now wearing number 33 for the Wildcats. And also good to see Carter back in the lineup. Missed last week's game. I believe it was a little bit of a groin injury. But Coach Hansen said he should be ready to go. Hansen's going to throw near side. Out across the 20 and out near the 23-yard line. I believe that indeed was Lyons. And the ball carrier for the Wildcats is down. That play started back at the 20. And it was Lyons indeed.
They got a few blockers out there in front of them. It was only a gain of about 3, but they did have some lead blockers, and one of them did kind of pop him for that 3-yard gain.
2nd and 7 upcoming for the Wildcats, wearing the home grays with the dark blue numbers. Not exactly great for television purposes, but they like them. Hansen near side, and that ball was really, I'm not sure where he was going with that one. I'm sure there was a misread there by one of the wideouts, or just a bad throw by Caden. Bottom line is it's going to be 3rd and 7 for the Wildcats.
Receivers in the area 18.
Yeah, they want to get something going here. They definitely do. These 3 and outs, they don't last. They don't do much for your morale.
I mentioned Caden Hansen on the air. I'm just looking at his stats. It's nearly 1,100 yards coming into this one. Completion percentage of 55.2 as he scrambles left, throws, and that ball is picked. Is it going to be a pick on the far side? It is. Wayzata with a turnover. They're going to get the ball at the Eagan 28-yard line. Didn't quite tell who got the pick, but you can hear the Wayzata coaches up here in the booth. They are pumped.
Yeah, another one of those roll out to the left, throw across the body plays. He had a man open, but when you're kind of telegraphing it that much and kind of taking something off of by going across the body, the defender just stepped right in front of the receiver. It wasn't that difficult.
Their coach, Lambert Brown, was saying we need to make some mistakes for the other team. So far, they've gotten them. I mean, they nearly had a pick on the first drive before we came on the air.
They did. Out of a lineman, no less.
Right. All right, he'll hand it off. Coming near side, Sand. He got the touchdown earlier for the Trojans. And plows his way, lowers the shoulder, gets down to about the 20. And the spot him actually looks like just shy of the 20. Give him 7 on that play. Tyrese Sayon for the Trojans wears jersey number 1. Wayzata is a team, they're only averaging 71 yards on the ground.
Yeah, I think numbers-wise, they kind of stack up nicely against us. Our defense has come along all season long, made big plays. They've been stingy, but right now Wayzata's moving the football.
Alrighty, barking out signals for the Trojans. And he'll hand it off. Here's his man straight ahead inside the 10. That's big number 34, Deshaun Cockrell for the Trojans. He is their leading rusher coming into this one. We'll go to the stats page there for Mr. Cockrell. We'll get him for you, trust us. We had him somewhere. There he is. 65 attempts, 309 yards coming in. It's a first down Trojans. First and goal from the Wildcat 9, they're going to say. 11 yards on that last carry. Go to him one more time. He'll cut right, cut back in, and he'll find the end zone. Touchdown Trojans. Cockrell from 9, and it's 12-0 Trojans. We're not even 4 minutes into this one.
He had some nice moves as he was closing in on the goal line, but he never got knocked off his feet.
So we'll see if the Trojans, what they decide to do here. They missed the extra point last time, which really wasn't that long ago.
Right. Conventional wisdom says you go for 2, try to tally it back up, but we'll see what they decide to do. It looks like they might be.
It is pretty early in this one. lot of time being taken there by the Trojans. So I'm not sure what we're the discussion. There we go. And the Trojans are going to go for 2. You called the count. And timeout taken.
They're going to rethink it.
By the Trojans on the, I almost said the PAT. Coming into this one, Wayzata had scored 55 points on the season. 28 of those were week 1 when they rallied to beat Rosemount. A couple of late scores in the second half. 28-7. Trojans are 1-0, thinking, hey, here we go.
Right.
But then their gauntlet of a schedule.
Brutal.
Oh my gosh. Then they had Minnetonka, Edina, Eden Prairie, Lakeville North. I mean, there's a bunch of top 10s. If not, Tonka, Edina, Eden Prairie, they were probably all top 3 at the different times, Lakeville North.
And they got blown out in one of those games, but they kept it respectable considering who they were going up against.
Right. And next week they play Maple Grove, another team that's right up there. So
they got it all figured out, Mike.
Yeah. All right. Cocker in the backfield. Heidi's going to get the snap. And give it to the big man once again, and he's in for the 2-point conversion. It's 14-0 Trojans, and it is dead quiet on the home side.
Yeah, it really is. I think we know that it doesn't take much, but again, too, all season long, the Wildcats have made big plays on special teams and on defense. Not to the point where it's swung games in our favor, but they have to remember that we've had big plays against us. It only takes one big play, and it could be a one-score football game. We gotta work on getting ourselves a big play.
Absolutely. By the way, Rosemount up 7-0 early at Burnsville as we check the Twitter feed.
And he carried 3 yards for the 2-point conversion.
We should mention over at Burnsville, they've got the big truck tonight there for Eagan Burnsville TV. So, unfortunately, we're kind of a bare bones production. We're still happy to bring it to you.
Absolutely.
It just means no replays for us here tonight in Wildcat country, and so far maybe just as well for the home team.
That probably isn't too far off so far.
As Wayzata has come in here and definitely taken it to the Cats early on. Officially, I'm looking at the stats here. We're looking at 96 yards of offense for the Trojans. The Cats have 2.
There's
And
that
short
pooch
kick.
kit, yeah.
Cats are going to field it at about the 20 by the up back. And good coverage by the Trojans. Egan's going to start back at about their own 25-yard line. 8 minutes even to go. Whoop. As the clock is rolling.
Don't know that it should be.
And they're going to spot the ball out on the 25-yard line. 7. Well, clock is now stopped at 7:44. So as you said, Ken, the Cats really need to get something going probably on this drive.
I would agree. I think we've talked all season about a particular possession or a particular play kind of helping define.
Here comes the near side. That's a gain of about 3 to Sundberg on the reception from Hansen.
Again, this could be that drive. If it isn't that drive, is it the defense's turn to make it that possession for Wayzata where we kind of stop the bleeding or make a big play? It's still early enough, the score is still close enough where a big play or a big stand could kind of get things kind of back on track for us.
Absolutely. 2nd and 7 for Egan. Hansen, he's going to throw near side once again. Here's Sundberg once again. And once again, he's going to pick up. Well, actually, this time he'll get out to about the 31. So, yeah, it's about 3 yards once again, like we just saw in the last play. Should mention the Cats. Jake Tower, their top receiver, they lost him 2 weeks ago in the game at Farmington. Broke a couple of bones in his leg.
Tip fracture.
Tough break for Jake. Had himself a really nice season. Had 4 touchdowns in that big second half comeback at Shakopee. The Cats scored 31 in the second half to knock off the Sabres. Bad snap. Hansen's going to throw across the middle. And just off the 10, but we do have a flag. Cats are going to get a fresh set of downs off of that one.
It was actually good coverage, but he may have got a little handsy. And again, no replay, so we can't confirm just how egregious it was, but it was really good coverage. He just might have got a little handsy, probably got his left hand around the receiver's waist or something like that, but it was really spot-on coverage.
Tyler Ernst, the intended target for the Wildcats.
And a well-placed throw, too, Mike.
Yeah, very much so. Now you watch Hansen this year, and he's gotten so much better. I mean, he's been good from the get-go, just throwing the ball so well. I mean, Coach Hansen told me the other day, you look at the stats in 6A, Hansen is something like 2nd or 3rd in total yards passing.
Wow.
So it's going to be up to the first at the Eagan 47. First down of the game for the Wildcats. And we'll try this time go far side. Getting close to another first down for the Cats. Will the sticks move? They will not. And the reception will take them down to the Wayzata 45. Give them 8 yards on that reception.
In Wayzata territory at the 45.
Another well-placed throw, again, too. They're not going down the field necessarily. The play where they got the pass interference, they did push the ball down the field, but they're sticking in the flats quite a bit. You can get guys open there pretty readily. The gains just aren't that big. It's yards after catch.
And Quanta in the backfield for the Cats, but it's going to be Hansen. He's going to step up. He'll keep the ball. Sticks are going to move on this one as Hansen gets down to about the 38-yard line of the Trojans. Trevor Palish for Wayzata giving pursuit. So it's going to be first down at the 30. So the spot looks like the 38 officially.
I think we have to remember that these teams, based on the numbers on paper, they stack up very well. Some futility in certain areas, some ability to get run over in certain areas, schedule strength, blah, blah, blah. But the Cats need to move the ball so they realize that they're not terribly outmatched here.
Hansen, Sundberg, we've seen this a little bit already.
All season.
And might have got back to the line of scrimmage, maybe got a half a yard if you're overly optimistic.
Again, too, Tate's wonderful in space about getting yards after a catch, but boy, when you get out there in the flats like that, you don't have a lot of blocking sometimes. And that was a perfect example of that.
Yeah, we had a penalty actually on Wayzata. I didn't see the flag, but it looks like it's a biggie.
Yeah, they're moving them back for sure.
Down to it's going to put the ball down at the 23-yard line.
Was it a passer or from the passer possibly?
Did not see the call, unfortunately.
On the penalty, it's a first down for the Wildcats.
Well, Cats have 3 first downs on this drive, 2 of them thanks to Wayzata penalties.
And that's part of the game, Mike. I think we know that. It's terrible when it works against you, but you'll take it when you can get it.
And Wayzata's going to take a timeout here. I think they might want to just kind of calm everybody down.
I would agree. It's second of the first half for them already. So.
Well, and nothing else, you're going to maybe break up the Eagan offense a little bit because they're just,
sure.
They're dinking and diming it down.
Yeah, and the tempo's good. I mean, we're up to the line, ready to go, and I think the Wayzata team thought, hey, we're not exactly sure what's coming at us. Let's take a quick timeout, slow them down. Again, we're getting a freebie, a little discussion on the side there.
Farmington up early on Eastview, 7-0. Another, I want to say South Suburban Conference action, but for football it's districts. But
sure,
it's we're still going to call it district play. Again, Cats, the goofy scheduling this year. One, this is their first home game in almost a month. 3 games on the road. Don't play Eastview. Don't play Burnsville. You get Wayzata, you get Minnetonka, you get Shakopee, Prior Lake. I mean, that's 4 schools that aren't even in the same county.
Yeah, it's that's true, and it is a very strange schedule this year.
So 5.5 to go in the first. Fresh set of downs for the Cats, looking to get something going. They trail by 14 early. Inquanta going in motion. Hansen, he's going to go to Inquanta far side. Makes one-man miss inside the 20. Still on his feet, powering his way ahead to about the 17-yard line. 6 yards apparently for Inquanta on that one.
He's a tough runner, and when those backs get those bubble screen type passes out in the flat there, if they turn it inside, a lot of people are already thinking contain and push to the sideline. Inquanta took it inside, and with his size and strength, took it down about another 2-3 yards.
Inquanta last week at Prior Lake had just under 100 yards rushing, and good to see him becoming more a part of this Eagan offense.
Absolutely.
And they're going to be McClenty. It'll be his first carry. He'll fall forward, maybe get a couple. Number of Trojans in on that one, including Palish, 44. McClenty, that's his first carry of the night. He's going to make it 3rd and about maybe 2, short 2, long 1. A lot of options here for the Wildcats.
I don't know what kind of a spot he got on that. It's a little bit longer, but we'll see what they choose to do.
McClenty one more time. Plenty of room there. He'll get down inside that 10. First down, Cats.
Absolutely. He ran it outside the tackle on that play, and you don't have to block people if there ain't people lined up there. So good call. You get a good head of steam. He's running downhill. Boom, 4 yards, first down Wildcats.
And the Cats right back up on the line of scrimmage. They're ready to go. The hurry-up offense that Coach Hansen likes to run.
They like that tempo.
3 receivers. Going to go out, try near side or in the corner. Ball is caught, but out of bounds. So we will try that once again. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 9.
I like the call. Taking a shot on first down. It's 1st and goal. We're getting points out of this, hopefully, and hopefully it'll be a touchdown.
3:55 to go, opening quarter, 14-0 Wayzata. Here in homecoming 2017 for the Wildcats. LaChance is going to go left side. I'll be shocked to see him get something on this play, number 12. But it's going to be McClenty, and it's going to be, he's going to not even get back to the line of scrimmage. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Wayzata players in on that stop. Leading the way, 41 from his linebacker spot, is Alexander Solly, the 6-foot senior.
Yards are tough between the tackles, Mike. For the whole season, that performance last week by our running back, just under 100, great job. I'd love to see where he put that ball often.
3rd and goal, you would think passing situation for the Cats. Hansen looks to throw, going to roll left. He's got room to the corner, he's going to try it. And he stretches it out. But they're going to say he stepped out of bounds back at about the, where are they going to spot him? Looks like at about the 4-yard line.
You know, he kept his feet, and I think that was the problem. We saw a play like that on Thursday Night Football last night where Cam Newton left his feet and actually kind of tried to get the ball around the pylon. Hansen kept his feet, and if you keep your feet and you're going out of bounds, you're going to be out of bounds.
Yeah, it's going to be a timeout taken by the Eagan Wildcats.
4th and goal from what?
We've got him listed out.
What, the 3?
Yeah, 3.5, maybe the 3. Let's go with that.
I think you're right. Probably closer to the 4, but either way, it looks like they're putting a lot of thought into this. They're down 2 scores. You got 2 options here, obviously. You either take the points or you, with the field goal attempt, or you give it a shot. Either way, your defense is coming out just fired up. They've got these guys pinned in way deep, irrespective of whether or not we get points on this or not. I'd like to see him go for it. Mike, what do you think?
I agree with you totally on this one. We know Willis can hit from here, but I think from a momentum standpoint, you've got to get this.
I would agree. I mean, the season in general has been one of a learning curve that's still pretty steep. There's no point in just taking the safe 3 here and giving them the ball back on their 30 after the kick. We go and see if we can draw some blood here.
And if you're Wayzata, you make this stop. Boy, did momentum really shift to the
Well,
visitors.
absolutely. And again, too, our defense has stood up a number of times this year. They've come up with big plays, picks. They've loosened the ball. It's going to be a nice set of downs after this score. And if they do stop us, it's still going to be a great set of downs. I'm looking forward to it.
3 receivers right, and Quanta goes to the left to put 2 on that side. Hansen steps, looking for somebody. He's got to try to run. He stays on his feet. Hansen to the end zone. No, just overthrew his man.
Wow.
Looked like LaChance, the intended target.
You know, that wasn't as momentum grabbing of a stop for Wayzata. They let him out of their clutches. They had 2 guys in the end zone that were open, and the pass was just a little off. So I think the defense comes out and says, hey, you know what, guys? Nice try. We'll take it from here for now.
3:07 to go in the first, 14-0 Wayzata. Well, you know, for the Prior Lake game a week ago for Eagan, they were early in the second half at about this spot. Prior Lake got a safety, then scored right away on the free kick. So that was a quick 9-point swing in favor of the Lakers that really put that one out of reach. Going to throw it on first down. He's got to get out of the end zone. He does. He's going to go deep. Look, he's got his man out near the 40-yard line. Big gain for the Trojans on the reception by Engdahl.
You know, Mike,
36 yards.
All season long, we've had great coverage. There's no replay, but take our word for it, folks. That was great coverage. The difference is when the defender turns and sees the ball's on its way, he just continues with his good coverage. You have a right to the ball. You have to go and get that football.
So Wayzata from the shadow of their own goalpost at the 4, now to the 4D. And they'll run it here on first down. And a gain of about 4 that time. A number of Wildcats in on the stop.
Good gang tackling.
Yep. Looks like 24, I believe, was the ball here. Apologize that I might have got the number confused there for Wayzata. Bottom line, it was 28. Check that. Christian Vassar, their sophomore back.
Even the big pass that went for the score earlier in this game, the coverage was there. The defenders aren't taking the opportunity to go after that football.
And they're going to run. Actually, quarterback on the keep this time is going to cut outside. First down, across midfield. Good gain for Wayzata down across the Wildcat 40 down to the 39. That's going to be A 17-yard run on the keep by Keaton Heidi, the junior signal caller.
There was a key block right about the 50-yard line where the end was sealed nicely, and the quarterback, once he got going downhill, he went nice and deep for a nice big gain.
A huge crowd now on the home side. They have definitely packed him in here, and unfortunately, what they're seeing on the field is not good for the home team. So Wayzata is just imposing their will. Flag on the play, Vassar with the run. He's going to get a first down, but let's see what the hanky's all about.
You got to probably assume it's a hold.
It's in that area.
It really is.
Jason Berg, our referee this evening. And a lead holding on the Trojans.
Again, too, penalties are part of the game. If a drive gets stalled out or kept alive by a penalty on either side, that's just part of the game of football. The Cats need to suck it up, take advantage of the fact that that big gain got nullified, and stay with those tight coverages, stay with that gang tackling, and try to slow this down. It's 14-0, only 14-0 right now.
Third penalty on Wayzata, but just their first on offense. Ball back to the 49, and we've got referees in for discussion. I believe Coach Ben Hansen for the Wildcats would like an explanation. He's been in his second year here in Wildcat country. I give Ben a lot of credit. He walked into a horrible situation here with the whole coaching upheaval. Last year, let's face it, was a lost year. Had time to get his system in the offseason, get some kids developed. And, this team is night and day from the 2016 squad.
We would all agree it's a process,
Absolutely.
and time is part of that process.
He said they've gotten 27 kids that have come out for football since practice started. So they're seeing the excitement in the building. It's no longer looking at football players and you guys stink kind of thing.
Right on.
A lot of excitement. He said there was a lot of excitement in the building this week. I know there was a big pep fest earlier today.
There's a lot of pride in this community for this game, and hopefully we can keep it going with a decent showing tonight.
Just over a minute to go in the first. 14-0 Wayzata taking their time. Again, Keaton Heidi, the signal caller for the Trojans. Missed 4 games earlier this year with a foot injury. He's going to roll left. He's got time. He's going to fire. And that really went to nobody, I guess. Not sure where he was looking on that one, but
no, he had guys down there, but they weren't open enough to just launch it down there. Good coverage again, and even with the big catches that the Wayzata receivers have made, the coverage has been there. At halftime, they should be telling their boys in the secondary, you're doing a decent job. Just when you turn, understand that ball's every bit as much could be yours as the receivers. Knock it down, pick it off, whatever, because the coverages have been tight.
3rd and 20 upcoming for the Trojans. Okay, they've got their play in from the sidelines. Need to get down to the 29-yard line in the final 46 seconds of the opening quarter. He's going to go far side. Got his man. He's going to get 10. He needs 20. He's going to end up getting about 16 on that one. So curious what Coach Brown's going to decide to do for the Wayzata Trojans, facing a 4th and about 5.
Are you deep enough in Eagan territory to go for it? It's at the 35, pardon me.
I think they're going for it. It sure looks like Garrett Nelson, by the way, with the reception for the Trojans. It's going to be about 15 on that last play. So 4th down from the 35, and we're going to have the end of the quarter. So we're down to 7, 6, 5. And we're going to get the siren here in about 1 second. Well, trust me, there should have been a siren. We didn't hear it. Bottom line, it's the end of the first quarter.
Take our word for it.
It is 14-0 Wayzata here on homecoming 2017 in Wildcat country.
Mike, on 3rd and 20, or 3rd and long, let's call it, without a big gain to make it 4th and 7, maybe they don't go for it. Maybe it's 3rd and 8, and then all of a sudden it's 4th and 7. They say, you know what, let's do a little sideline kick or something like that. But when you pick up 3/4 of a 3rd and 22, you're that deep in Eagan territory, why wouldn't you go for it?
And it's going to be a big play here for both teams. The Cats need to have their defense come up with something here to really get this crowd going, because like I said, they have been quiet really since the start of this game. And we said it's future homecoming week.
You know, they move the ball. The Trojans have both on the ground and through the air. So what they choose to do here is anyone's guess. They've had luck both ways. They've got some big backs, but they've also gotten guys open in the flats, and we've got some coverage issues with regard to fighting for that football. It could go either way, but we'll find out in about 2 seconds here. 4th and 8.
Start of the second quarter.
4th and 7.
Well, yeah, about 6.
Yep.
Long 6, short 7, whatever.
There you go. Let's see what happens.
Bottom
here.
line is they got to get it down to basically the 29, maybe just a hair short of it.
Sure.
Vassar is the lone back. I'm thinking maybe they're going to try and draw the Cats off. Their Cats didn't budge. Aggie, the quarterback, barking out signals. Look, he's calling the audible. Was that 2 receivers left, 1 right? And they're going to try a little trickery. They're going to come near side. They got to get inside the 30. They do. First down and more. And that's going to go to the house. Touchdown Trojans. Diving into the end zone. Brody Bjork, 35 yards, and it's 20-0 Wayzata.
You know, Mike, you don't want to take anything away from the fake. He sold it. I don't know about you, but I followed the fake myself. The bottom line is, though, we have players that need to stay where they're put in initially, and then at least you're defending against it in some capacity. It might be a wasted player if the fake, if he goes with it, but there was nobody on this side, Mike. Not a cat in sight.
No, they all bit. So looking to make it 21-0 is Reed Sanders for Wayzata. Kick is on its way, and no, I thought he hooked it left. He indeed did. 0 for 2 on PATs.
Right, he had some leg on that one too. And again, too, 20-0 early in the second quarter. Not insurmountable. Nice drive by the Cats earlier. They need another one, and the defense, they need to just start understanding that they've made big plays for us all year. Intermittently, tonight it cannot be an exception.
I don't want to give these numbers to the Eagan faithful, but I will. That drive went 96 yards in 3:18. Plays of 36, 17, 15, and 35 included in that drive. Ouch for the home team.
Yeah, it's one thing if someone wants to go toe-to-toe, blow for blow, and just grind out yards, eat up clock, but when they're biting off 20 and 30-yard chunks at a time, that's an issue. It's a tackling issue, it's an assignment issue, it's a coverage issue, it's something. The Cats will get it straightened out.
We mentioned a bit ago, Wayzata in their last 5 games has scored 27 points. They have 20 in 12 minutes and 11 seconds tonight.
Well, good, they're almost done, correct? They're just about through. Good luck for the Cats. That worked out well.
And kicking off will be Sanders, number 16. He's a 6'3 junior for the Trojans. Back deep for the Wildcats, number 11, Tate Sundberg, the 5'9 senior. Short kick once again, fielded by the up back. And Egan's going to, nice move out near the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. That was Poplinski on the return that time for the Wildcats.
Tough kid, senior.
Hockey player.
Absolutely. Baseball player as well, I believe. Good kid.
So Cats are going to start. They're going to spot the ball, I believe, right on the 40. They are on the 40.
Not a bad start.
From their own 40, 11:43 to go in the opening half. Yes, it is 20 for Wayzata, nothing for the Wildcats.
A lot of second quarter left here.
3 receivers for the Cats. Lyons in the backfield along with Hansen. And they're going to fake. They're going to throw it across the middle. Oh!
Whoa!
Taken down. Big hit out there. Darn near getting decapitated for the Wildcats was Tyler Ernst. But he touched it, and the kid had every right to hit him.
The timing was right, and I think aside from that big hit, he probably makes that catch, Mike.
So 2nd and 10 for the Cats. I think Tyler Ernst is one of those kids, we really didn't hear a lot of him early in the year. One of those kids that's just really stepped it up this year for the Wildcats. And they're going to fake the throw. It's going to be Lyons, and it's going to be 3rd and a long distance to go for the Wildcats. Like number 42, first man in for Wayzata, is Caleb Eugene. He's a 6-foot senior linebacker for the Trojans. And we said, for those of you just tuning in, Lyons is wearing 33 tonight. Switch number from number 9 as his other jersey. Got ripped up pretty good last home game. 1, 2, 3 receivers for Hansen to work with. Of course, the chances is tight end. Hansen's going to go across the middle. And that ball nearly picked off at the 50. We've got a penalty flag. This could go either way, I think.
I would agree with you, Mike. I certainly didn't see it as a Wayzata pass.
No, I was going to say, my naked eye said it's on Eagan.
Right on.
Well, let's see what the men with the stripes have to say. Oh, they're going to call Wayzata for the interference. That's the third of the game on the Trojans.
Another drive saver for us. The key now is build on these drive saves.
Absolutely. 1, 2. Yeah, it's the second pass interference thus far on Wayzata. They also had another penalty that gave the Cats a first down.
Defensive pass interference penalty against Wayzata, 15 yards.
15-yarder on that one. Cats say thank you.
Right on.
So we are going to move the ball to the 45-yard line for Eagan. I'll take it. I think we mentioned last drive one where the Cats really need to get points. Can you say really this time?
Yeah, I would agree with you. This is the sense of urgency went up just a notch.
Flag on the play. And Sundberg's going to lose a couple on that one. Well, let's see what the hanky's all about. If it was thrown into that area where holding would be the infraction. Let's see what Jason Berg has to say, the man with the white hat.
And you know what? You kind of question how necessary. No flag, he picked it up.
Okay, must have been.
Well, it's such a quick hitting pass, you don't expect your lineman to have to hold. Once again, that bubble screen type pass out in the flat. Yards after catch are tough. There's 3 guys kind of waiting.
2nd and 11 Cats.
Personnel issues for the Cats right now.
Stump from left to right. Hanson will pitch it to Nquanta. He will. Riley's got nowhere to go. Good play by the Wayzata defense. Number 14 in there early was Dalton Seas.
Yeah, both the quarterback and the pitch man were both covered pretty nicely. So either way, that play may not have been going too far.
We're going to say the Cats only lost 3 on that play. That might be generous. Bottom line, it's 3rd and 1. 3rd and 14 they have on the scoreboard. This is one, if you don't get it, you got to kick it away.
You really do.
Again, 3 receivers for the Cats. Hanson is going to look down. He's looking across the middle. There's some pushing and shoving, incidental contact. They're going to say right at the sticks. Earns the intended target. Coverage back there by number 5, Benninga for the Wayzata Trojans, and the Cats indeed are going to kick this one away.
That was a good route. He found the chain, so had he come down with it, it would have been a first down, and not a bad pass. Just a little high possibly, but it's tough when you have to find the sticks at 14 and 15 yards a pop.
Benninga's going to drop back into punt formation. Sackmaster to kick it for the Wildcats. Taking it. Sackmaster near side. Can they get to the 6? No, read well.
They had the right idea. Again, perfect example of you got to find the sticks. Now we got a flag on the field, Mike.
Vinny LeBaire with the reception, but up for Wayzata reading it really well was Andrew Cranny. Let's see what this one's about. The Cats get another break.
Looks like he's pointing in the right direction.
Sportsmanlike against the Wayzata Trojans.
Wow.
I will say that's about the only thing Wayzata has not done well tonight.
Well, I would agree with that. And on top of it, I mean, I think every one of these young student athletes understands that those are tough penalties. That's just your temperament. That's just not having control of yourself in a situation. I don't know that it's going to say that's the play that turned the game around, but it's certainly the play that kept this drive alive, and an unnecessary one, too.
Think about it. The Cats were ready to punt the ball away. They had a pass interference. Again, 3rd down, you go for the fake punt. Wayzata stops them. What a penalty.
Right. And again, too, not one of those penalties that you can shrug off as strong effort, questionable call. This is something the refs heard something.
Actually, they're going to say it was after after possession change. So Wayzata on their own 25 with 9:21 to go here before half. Already up by a 20-0 count. And they're going to throw what's going on. He had his man across the middle, wide open, but could not connect. They've really revered the intended target.
They've connected like that several times. They got the receivers running the coverage off. They drag someone into the flats. He's typically wide open. The catch is 6 and 7 yards. He's got 5 or 6 unimpeded yards waiting for him after that.
He might have looked up and Billy Revere was so wide open. Maybe threw him off.
It might have been a little low, too. It looked like he was kind of reaching down, but certainly catchable, and you ain't going to hear no footsteps on that play.
No. Anyways, that looks like they're going to run it on second down. Power in ahead. I believe that was Vassar for a minute.
They had him stop just a wee bit deeper. He did wiggle free, but still not a bad stand. 3rd and long for the Trojans. Relatively deep in their own zone.
I will say this. I mean, Eagan, they're pretty good against the run thus far tonight. There was a 5-yard one. They had a 0. Quarterback had a 17-yard run, but that was just kind of a broken play.
Right.
They only got a couple, so give the Eagan D-line credit there. 3rd and long for the Trojans. Here comes the blitz. Do they get him? No, he squirts free. Coming near side, looking for some help. Eludes another tackle. Oh my gosh, check this kid out. He's got the first down for the Trojans.
That's a backbreaker, Mike.
Oh my gosh, yes it was. How many tackles did he break?
Well, excellent pressure by the Cats. Closed off all possible routes of escape. Had him in the clutches. 2 Cats. Shook him loose, ran deep, shook another one loose, up the sideline, shook one loose, finally drug down after he probably ran 40 yards to gain the 12.
12, yep. Wow. And you could hear the collective groan here on the home side.
Yeah, it was tough. You get them all psyched up, and to watch that thing unravel was almost in slow motion.
Here's Vassar straight ahead, 45-50 into Eagan territory. 13 for the sophomore, and the Trojans are running downhill right now.
It never works out where the play-by-play guy and the color guy say how tough a team's been against the run. They get him hemmed in deep just so he can wiggle his way out for a big play, and they back it off with another big run right up the gut.
14 yards on that play.
The Trojans at the Wildcat 46-yard line.
You look at some of the size on this offensive line for Wayzata, 237, 230, 250, 240. They're even bigger on the defensive line. Going to throw it out, and a little miscommunication there on first down, so it's going to be 2nd and 10 Trojans. They've got a guy on defense. Where did he go in the roster here? I'm looking at Andrew Yogi, number 58. He's 6'1", 300. He's only a junior, by the way.
Oh, my. We'll look him up next year. Probably be bigger.
Yeah, kid next to him on the D-line is Kyle Sorensen, 5'8", 178.
Yeah, that's a sight, I'm sure.
I know Coach Hansen for Eagan he mentioned that kid, Yogi, the other day. He says, we got to basically double team that kid.
Yeah, I don't see how you could get away with not.
And hopefully we can open up some holes elsewhere. So 2nd and 10 with 7.5 to go in the opening half. 20-0 Trojans. Here's Vassar once again. Fights his way ahead, gets to about the 40.
Tough few.
Yeah, he kind of jumped over one of the Wildcats, and then Stump was able to help take him down. It's going to be a 5-yard run, set up 3rd and 5. And if you're Wayzata on 4th down, you go for it, don't you?
I would think so. I mean, it worked out well. I mean, they're moving the football. There's no reason not to. It's 3rd and 5, so kind of 4-down territory.
Looking towards the sideline. Love it on the far side. They've got those charts that have 4 different logos on them. I see Texas Longhorns, Oregon Ducks, a few other ones. A lot of times you see like a pinup model over on those things, don't you?
You kind of do. I mean, I know that I would put one on mine.
Here's Vassar. Oh, nice play.
Yeah, that's big.
That might move them back and at least think about punt formation as LeBaire was in for the Wildcats.
Probably lost 2 on that. So 4th and long.
Yep. Need to get down to the 36. They're back at the 42. And boy, Lambert Brown looks like he's going to. Nope. Now he's going to send his punt team out. Well, this way you can always try and pin the Cats deep.
You could, and that could have gone either way. I mean, we're not so moving the football right now that if we had to turn it over, if they turned it over to us on the 40, it wouldn't be a guaranteed score. But this is conservative football. Let the defense do what they got to do.
Eagan has nobody back. And we've got whistles. Do we have a timeout on the field?
Got a flag, too.
We have a delay of game against the Trojans.
It takes all likelihood of a...
But do the Cats decline it? Nope, they don't.
They accept it. With nobody deep, now
Tate's
going back.
Yep, now Sunberg's going deep.
16,
Sanders, he was moving pretty good in warm-ups, we noticed. See if Sundberg can create something.
If anybody can, it's been him.
Bad snap. But there was not much of a rush, and Sanders is going to fall on it back at the 26-yard line. Wildcats, here you go. Here's your golden opportunity. As that ball sailed over the head of Sanders, maybe got his right hand on it, but by far, best opportunity of the night for the Eagan Wildcats.
I would agree too, Mike, and on top of it, it's 20-0. It's a 3-score game.
5:50 to go, opening half. Remember when we said that we went from really to really, really important drive?
Right on.
This now becomes really, really, really for the home team.
Put like an exponential number up there somewhere.
Right. And a 3-receiver package right now for the Cats. Hanson, he's going to come near side. And Quanta, he lowers that shoulder, gets down inside the 20-yard line. I believe he's going to be just shy of the first down. Looks like a pickup of about 9 for the big Eagan back. Inside the red zone for the second time tonight go the Eagan Wildcats. Last time they got down to the 4. Second and short. Hanson, he's going to throw. He's going towards the corner. Got his man. 6 points, Eagan. Can't tell who got that because Woods on the reception for the Wildcats.
Nicely done.
Woods from 19. What do we got? The Cats, let's take a look at this. I thought somebody said there was a flag on the field. I do not see one. So Woods, 19 yards from Hanson. Well, now what do the Cats do? They have that, do we call it an odd formation when you go for the extra point or 2 points or whatever you choose to do with it?
Well, unless they pull it back in and get a kicker down, they're definitely there. He goes.
Yeah, because we've seen Hanson run out of there before.
With some success, too, actually.
Was for the PAT. As I say, he's almost automatic here. And as I say that, it is good.
Good pressure.
So the Cats take advantage of a Wayzata miscue, get back in this one. They now trail by a count of 20-7 with 5:33 to go before halftime.
You know, big plays can come from all over the place. It can be a hanky that comes out of an official's pocket. It can be a judgment by one of the athletes drawing a penalty that was unnecessary. It could be a miscue. It could be a big interception. We'll take, and any team will take those opportunities when they come. It's how you capitalize on that makes the difference.
And one thing, too, you fired up the home crowd or the pit. Well, they've been on their feet the whole time, but now they're actually jumping, clapping, making noise. You look at the adults, they're on their feet.
Absolutely. And when the pit gets
many
moving,
of them.
this building gets moving.
Exactly. Yeah. Kind of the old press box here in Wildcat Country. Yeah, that is not your screen that's moving. That is actually the camera's not moving. That's actually the shaking of the home side in Wildcat Country.
Well, I venture to say they're going to kick it deep. Stay in your lanes, boys. Get good kick coverage. Let the defense come out and see if they can contribute to this.
Got Willis to kick off for the Cats from his own 40. And they are going to kind of just shoot it down the middle. And Wayzata will fall right down on it at their own 30-yard line, where the Trojans will take over 1st and 10, 5:31 to go in the opening half, up by a 20-7 score. Big defensive stop upcoming here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, it would certainly help build some momentum. The pit is trying to get things going on this side. As you mentioned, a lot of the fan base on this side have been on their feet a moment ago. One big play on this side of the field is going to get pretty loud.
And hey, the band's here.
Absolutely.
The full regalia on.
It is homecoming.
Let's see what Wayzata does on first down. They will go to the air. And they will go deep on the air. Oh, just off the hands of his entire target. That was number 6, Engdahl.
You know, good coverage, Mike, but again, the receiver who was right with him stride for stride, you just didn't see any of those hands come up. The ball was long. If it had been 6 inches less long, that excellent coverage would have still resulted in a long, long catch because it was thrown on the money.
And Wayzata's going to go back 10 after a holding penalty.
Again, too.
Actually, they're going to go back more than 10 because it goes from the spot of the infraction. So the ball is going to move back to the 16, which would set up 1st and 26, I believe.
You know, so Mike, we're watching the play as it unfolds downfield. What you have to wonder is that holding penalty that occurred, are we getting some pressure in that they're feeling the need to hold, or are these just bad mistakes on Wayzata's part? We'll keep an eye on that front four. We've talked about them playing tough up to this point. They obviously are.
That one, I think, was to really stop the pressure because you saw the quarterback rolling out and there wasn't a whole lot of people around him. Here comes Vassar, or no, this is Cockrell, I should say.
Great job.
Out near the 20, gets about the 21, give him maybe 5.
19 on the hit.
That would be Ben Kozumzak, 6'2 senior D-back. I don't know if we've called his name at all this year.
No, they did a great job of the defensive end stepped up. Maybe a linebacker scraped over and stepped up, but they stretched it out. The sideline helped hem him in. 19 came up, made a nice form tackle. Big stop.
2nd and 20 upcoming for Wayzata. Checking the side. There's a Florida Gators one on one of those cue cards over there now I see too. Definitely, yeah, all corners of the collegiate world, as we said. And we're going to have a timeout, I believe, taken by the Trojans. If we do, it is their final of the half. And indeed we do. Oh, we mentioned it is homecoming 2017 here in Wildcat country. So far, the Spirit Week events, they had Gray Grout Dress Up Day on Monday. Twin Dress Up Day was Tuesday. Holiday Dress Up Wednesday. College Dress Up. Today was Spirit Dress Up. Big homecoming pep fest. We had the South Suburban Conference cross country meet. It was going on here earlier today. Did not hear the results of that. Homecoming dance is Saturday night in the gym.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, things are hopping here in Wildcat country.
It was a dodgeball tournament. Obviously, the proverbial powder puff game took place this past week.
Saw there was something on Twitter today. It looks like rock, paper, scissors was going on at the Pep Fest. I don't know if it was teachers against students or what exactly it was.
It's a coin flip, I think, Mike.
Yeah, but I'm sure they were fired up inside the Eagan gym about 2 o'clock this afternoon.
It's a great time of the year. And it's not even contingent on what kind of season you're having. Homecoming is homecoming.
And we mentioned at the outset, they've got a perfect night for homecoming.
They sure do.
I mean, it's about 60 degrees at game time, no wind, and whistles aplenty. I believe this is going to be false start Trojans. And there is our official signal. So Wayzata going backwards coming out of the timeout.
And you know, Mike, I mean, obviously the flags have been flying, and they've been going against Wayzata. But if there's something that we've done, if scoring that point, if that miscue, if some of that pressure is getting them out of their rhythm, so be it. We build on it. We got 4:32. Let's see if we can't hem them in real deep.
Well, you're looking at 2nd and 25. Let's assume Wayzata was to throw, probably on one of these downs at least. Well, there's one right here. They're going to go far side, and that is incomplete.
Boy, I tell you, it looked like someone had pick six thoughts, but that ball was kind of overthrown.
Yeah, I saw that too.
He was kind of taking that lead step, but then he said, no, that's going into the sideline deep. 3rd and super long.
So now you're looking at 3rd and 25. Let's say Wayzata even chooses to run the ball here. Eagan stops him. You get the ball back with 3.5 minutes to go.
In good field position.
Midfield or so.
So stay off the receivers. Let's see if the front four can put some pressure. You almost have to assume they're going to throw. Maybe a screen.
Fake the handoff. Good pressure by the Cats. Yeah, but again, eluded at least 3 tackles. Cuts back inside, well short of the first down.
Well,
Cats are going to work on tackling, I'm sure, before next week.
I would think so. Again, too, great pressure. Flushed him out quick. In the grasp, out of the grasp, in the grasp. Got some of it back. Thankfully, not enough. I don't know if the fan base can handle another one of those long gains. It looks like the punting unit is coming out.
Yeah, you say bottom line, Wayzata is the punt. And last time Wayzata punted, it was a high snap. Eagan got the ball on the Wayzata 28-yard line. Sundberg will drop back for the Wildcats. He's standing back at about his own 30. Sanders, pretty good leg. Nice kick.
Got the poison call on. They're just going to take it where it stops rolling.
Which will be inside the Wildcat 40, almost to the 35. Officially, they'll stop at about the 37-yard line, where Eagan will take over with 3.5 to go.
You know, Mike, Wayzata looked like they did not want that punt to be blocked. They had 3 guys in front of the kicker. If you looked after that ball was kicked, we field that ball, and there's some room to go. And Tate's done a great job all year of creating opportunity after the catch, after the fielding of a punt or a kickoff. Great, no chance for a blunder. 1st and 10 Wildcats on their own 36-yard line. But boy, you just wonder if Tate fields that cleanly, does he cross midfield? And then what happens? He's an exciting player.
Yeah, 37 officially. Somebody in the pitch is holding up a sign, "Let's go Eagan," trying to get the huge student section here tonight going for the home team. Chance goes in motion. Hanson, short drop across the middle. Got his man in his seam. That's deep into Wayzata territory. First down, Cats. Big gainer for the home team. It looks like, was that Woods once again? Actually, LaChance, we've been wondering where he's been all night.
We called his name a lot earlier in the season, and you think you would now more so with Tower being out. But great to see him get involved again. Boy, he wrapped that ball up tight. That ball wasn't coming out, Mike.
36 yards down to the Wayzata 27. Hanson's going to throw once again near side this time. They lose one man and down to the 17. The Cats are in the red zone. That was number 11 that time, Sundberg.
Plenty of time, Mike, but in addition to that, we've run a faster tempoed offense. If we get these guys back on our heels, we punch it in, it's a whole new ball game.
They're going to spot that ball at about the 18, so there's going to be 9 yards on that last gainer. 2 plays, 45 yards. Hanson looking to throw. He's going to step up. He needs some help. He's going to get dropped. Back at about the 25-yard line. A number of Wayzata Trojans in there, including number 52, Chad Matson.
Boy, it's too bad, too. They had a guy crashing on the right-hand side of our offense. Their left back stepped up, made a great block. That instantaneous moment that Caden had to step back and reread things, everything fell apart on him.
Down to 2:13 and counting to go in the half. Eagan down by 13. Facing a 3rd and long. Hanson pitch, Lions. Lowers the shoulder, keeps on his feet. He's down near the 15. And a late flag right at the sideline.
Again, too, let's see which way this goes. Any initial thoughts, Mike? I didn't see it.
I'm going to guess it might be a late hit on Wayzata, being where the flag was thrown.
Well, I'll tell you, too, that he just dropped the boom on that tackler and kept those legs moving. It's one thing if you drop down and just kind of stun the whole situation, but if the legs keep going and they are moving it down, wow.
Personal foul against Wayzata.
And, Mike, I don't know if he got the first down yardage.
He didn't. He was about 2 yards shy.
Wow. So another opportunity where you say to yourself as a Trojan coach or even a player, you say, why, guys, why?
And I think there might be a few choice words in with that why.
I would agree with you.
It is football. Hanson and the Wildcats with inside 2 minutes to go in the half. We're going to cut this deficit in half. Going to throw far side and gets a minimal gain down to about the 6. And that would be Sundberg once again.
Well, you put the ball in the hands of a guy like Tate, who has definitely got yard after catch potential, but you lay it out there, and oftentimes the receivers can't run enough defenders off to make his job very easy. He hung onto the ball. It's the first thing he has to do. Here come the Cats again.
Down to 90 seconds to go in the half. Eagan does have 2 timeouts. 2nd and goal at the 5. Hanson going to throw it across.
Looks like he got it in.
I believe he got it. Touchdown. He gets 6 points. Eagan. Sundberg on the reception.
Was it LaChance or was it Sundberg?
Sundberg. I think it was 11.
Let's have a look. I think you might be right. But boy, what a great play was that. Here he comes.
Well, they're saying Ernst with the reception. Okay.
Well, spread it around. We got no problem with that. Here we come with
Ernst is 31.
15.
Ernst is 31. Sundberg's 11.
Like I said, we've talked all year about the blue on gray.
It's been a month since we've been here.
It's tough. That's true.
The You volunteer crew, you get what you pay for.
That's
Nate Willis for the PAT for the Wildcats. Trying to get the Eagan within 6. Liner of a kick, but it split the uprights.
wow.
1:15 to go. The Cats are roaring back in this one. They're now down by 6 after being down by 20 earlier in this quarter.
You know, you take opportunity when you can get it, and the Cats have capitalized, but let's not forget that there's been some absolutely unnecessary penalties by the Trojans, and while it's still important that we took advantage and moved the ball and scored, as a Trojan fan, player, coach, we talked earlier, why, guys, why?
I'm just unofficially looking at Wayzata's penalties. You have a pass interference, you have another pass interference, an unsportsmanlike, a personal foul, you know, and those are just unnecessary penalties.
Absolutely. That's over, well, depending on the spot and the infraction and so on and so forth, that's 60, 70 yards of offense that they're giving us.
And their coach, Lambert Brown, was saying before the game, we can't be making the mistakes we've been making. Well, right there, I mean, that's been part of their problem this year is you're giving teams extra yards, extra plays, extra first downs. And
With the schedule that they play, they can't afford to do that.
well, you can't afford to do that against anybody.
You can't.
I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. Eagan is no Eden Prairie, Minnetonka, Edina, Lakeville North. Egan's a rebuilding program.
Absolutely.
But you know what? Egan has shown what you do when you get opportunities.
And that's exactly it, Mike. You know, people could say, oh, but those penalties, but how you respond when given an opportunity is very, very important.
Absolutely. Another short kick. Trojans kind of a little bit. You take it, and they're going to start at their own 20-yard line.
Hot potato at the 20. You know, he kicked that liner into the ground end over end, and it kicked up kind of funny off the shoulder pad. Everybody's scrambling, going, hey, this ball's anybody's. Let's cover it up.
Absolutely. So 1:13 to go here in the opening half. It's Wayzata 20, Eagan 14. Special shout out to those of you watching us on the World Wide Web tonight on the ETV site. Glad you're with us.
Wish you were here.
Yeah, you're missing a nice comeback here by the Wildcats, and we said the fans are getting into it. You know, I look across the stands. Wayzata's got a pretty decent turnout here tonight.
Not too bad. We've seen bigger.
Considering you're, you know what, an hour and a half away
Absolutely.
by rush hour.
Yeah, it's a jaunt
rush
for
hour
sure.
standards. Here comes Wayzata looking to get something going here before the break. Engdahl far side. He's looking for some help. He got a block. He gets out across the 30, 35. Nice play on first down by the Trojans, and he got out of bounds to stop the clock.
He did get out of bounds. I was watching the clock. A couple of extra ticks went off as they were figuring it out, but I thought, boy, if they could have kept him in. And I think that's the key right now. Keep him in bounds. They're out of timeouts, Mike.
Yep.
The clock does run. He didn't make it.
Okay. Did stop momentarily to move the sticks.
Yep.
Otherwise, that looked like they were going to have their quarterback under center for the first time tonight.
It did.
Said Hiley's going to step about 4 yards behind his center. Looking to come near side. He lost
Good
that
pressure.
with good pressure. Yep. And Cockrell couldn't get it. Coming through for the Wildcats.
You know,
Was that McClenty?
we've talked about some of the pressure that apparently these front four are applying, and it's unsung right now because they're not getting the big sacks. The quarterback has wiggled out of a couple of tight spots. So you look and you go, hey, what are those guys up front doing? They've definitely gotten a little stingier against the run, and they've flushed that quarterback several times in these last couple drives.
37 seconds to go. 2nd and 10, Wayzata. Oh, good pressure by the Cats. And that ball is
on the
loose.
ground?
And who's going to get it? Wayzata had it, lost it. Eagan says they have it now. Who's got it?
I think it might be Egan's ball, Mike.
Eagan football.
Wow.
27 seconds to
Wow.
go. Another golden opportunity for the Cats.
You know, it's like nobody wanted that ball either. Twice a Wayzata player fell on it, and it squirted out. Again, too, up front pressure. That quarterback was wrapped up instantaneously. We got hot tempers all over on that Wayzata sideline in the box. Big play for the Cats.
Egan's going to be on the Wayzata 20-yard line. 27 seconds to go.
Again, Mike, we talked earlier, getting the break, getting something handed to you, that's one thing. Can you capitalize? So far tonight, the Wildcats have.
Didn't see who recovered the fumble for Egan. Bottom line, it was the guy in the gray shirt.
With the illegible blue number, and we're thrilled.
Hansen, pump fakes, going to go deep. Got it, and couldn't quite connect going to the end zone.
You know, I'm impressed with the call. Take a shot right away. You're probably within field goal range. you definitely could be saying to yourselves, let's get some points. But taking that shot right away, there's not a lot of time left. Don't burn a timeout. The clock will stop. Let's see what the Cats can do here. 2nd and 10.
And I believe it was Woods, the intended target, but it doesn't matter. It was incomplete. So it's 2nd. And Eagan does have 2 timeouts. 2nd and 10 at the 20. Cats going to go with a false start there. Hansen steps up, throws, tries to find his man in the middle. That ball is knocked down at the goal line, nearly picked off by Wayzata.
That was a little bit of there was a lot of intention on that throw. It might have been a little bit grandiose. He tried to squeeze it in there. It was off enough where even the defender couldn't get his hands on it.
Yeah, Benninga nearly got the pick for the Trojans. So now with 18.1, if you're the Cats, do you simply run it, get it in the middle of the field to set up Willis?
I like taking another shot.
So I think right here you're right on the edge of his range. Here's Hansen. He's going to help with that range, and he'll get down to about the 16.
If they get a spot out of it, it would have been helpful. Timeout Cats.
Yep. Joe Demro, by the way, the stop. So it gets down to about the 15. They're going to spot it. So this has got to be Nate Willis time, I would think.
I would agree.
11.1 to go before intermission. Let's go to our stats here on Willis. He had one last week at Prior Lake. It was a similar distance, if I'm not mistaken.
Terrible weather, too. The conditions were not kicking conditions.
He is 2 for 4 this year. He's made 1 from inside 19, 1 from 20 to 29. So this is going to be, he was hitting from 35 in warm-ups at the other end with some room to spare. I mean, there's no wind to speak of.
No, it's good kicking night. It's a matter of getting that snap, spot, kick, no pressure. And they have had some pressure on that. Our right side, they've sent a guy around.
And it is 4th down, so you can't just fall on it if you get a bad snap. So this will be a 32-yard attempt for Willis. Looking to get the Cats within 20 to 17. Wayzata can't call a timeout. Kick is on its way. Kick, lots of leg. And it is good. Willis, 32 yards. Ken, I wouldn't have said this a little bit ago, but we got a ball game.
Mike, it's a tale of 2 teams on this Wildcat football side. They were down 20-0. They got handed some opportunities, and again, we can't emphasize this enough. They've capitalized.
6.6 seconds to go in the opening half.
We got to feel good. We got a 3-point game here, Mike.
By the way, Wayzata does get the ball to start the second half. See Willis, I would imagine, will just squib kick it once again.
Yeah, that was actually fairly effective the last time. That end over end hits the turf, bounces around. They'll fall on it. That should collectively end the half. Into the locker room you go, and what do you say, Mike? You're Coach Hansen. What do you say to your team at halftime?
Do you have to say anything?
They've taken advantage of opportunities. I think that's one thing they need to point out. Fundamentally, they've been fairly sound. The guys up front, they're up for game balls at this point. They need to get a little stickier with their grip. If they can come out and hem that quarterback in again the second half, this could be a heck of a second half.
The thing is, for both teams, is Wayzata's going to try and get a good return here right before the buzzer. And they get out near the 49-yard line as the clock stops with 0.8 of a second left. Again, a bit of a groan from the crowd on the home side. But if you're Coach Hansen for Eagan or Coach Brown for Wayzata, you got to say, guys, either the first quarter or second quarter was ours. We know the way we can play. We just got to keep doing it. Well, I talked to Coach Brown before the game, and I told him, I asked what's going on with the team. I said, I swear I'm talking to Coach Hansen for Eagan. Yeah. They were saying the same thing. We've said it earlier tonight. Both have said, you just got to make plays. You got to be smart. And Wayzata did that earlier. The Cats are doing it in the second quarter.
When you talk to the Wayzata staff and the Eagan staff and things sound the same, it's because it's been they're teams that are not having spectacular years, and when they've been in ball games, it's probably been just tiny execution issues as Wayzata makes this last snap.
Well, it screams Hail Mary, but you have a little trickery up your sleeve. Well, they're going to go deep. They've got a man down there, but it was overthrown far side.
That'll do it.
And we're going to go to the half with the Wayzata Trojans leading the Eagan Wildcats by a score of 20-17 here on ETV.
And 2017 homecoming for the Eagan Wildcats.
So as we said, at the half, Wayzata, they got the first 20 of this game. The Cats have roared back with 17 unanswered. We're going to take ourselves a little bit of a break, and we're going to be coming back with third quarter action shortly. You're watching Eagan Wildcat football on ETV. Welcome back inside Wildcat Country, where we get set for second half action in a game that has turned into quite a contest thus far between a couple of 1-5 teams. The Wayzata Trojans 20, the Eagan Wildcats 17. My name is Mike Cook. His name is Ken Merwin. And Ken, really a tale of two quarters, to say the least.
Yeah, really, Mike. The Trojans came out and put 20 up in fairly short order. The Cats took their time. They capitalized on opportunities, which I think is important to point out. Penalties, some ball control issues, mostly penalties, but the Cats took it down and put the ball in the end zone. And
Wayzata is going to get the ball to start the second half. The Wayzata scored the first 20 points of this ball game, and it looked like this was going to be a runaway. York scored a 35-yarder on fourth down to start the second quarter. Also, that's 20-0 Trojans. But here come the Wildcats. Woods had a 19-yard pass from Hansen. Ernst had a 5-yard pass from Hansen. And then the Cats recover a fumble with 27 seconds left. Turns into a 32-yard field goal by Willis. And that's where we stand right now.
Well, the defense will get their chance to come out and showcase what they've done in that first half. Late in that first half, that front four, their play became more and more apparent as they flushed that quarterback out and made some big stops.
Well, Cats will see if they kick it deep. Little pooch kick once again, and Wayzata is going to take stop at the 27-yard line as that was scooped up kind of like a third baseman there by number 27, Gunnar Mundahl.
Got a third base name too, Gunnar.
I was thinking that sounds more like a special teams kind of guy, doesn't it?
Kind of does, I suppose, right on.
Again, special shout out to those of you watching this tonight on the World Wide Web, off the ETV website. We're glad you're with us. Huge crowd here tonight in Wildcat Country for Homecoming 2017. Just had a really nice halftime show. We had the band, we had the dance team, we had it used to be called the Homecoming Court. It's now called the Difference Makers. So no longer king and queen in homecoming. It's now difference makers.
And that's a district thing, I believe, out this way.
That's what I heard.
Yeah. So, again, all the festivities, all the bells and whistles, and here the defense goes, and here we go.
Anderson far side. This is Bjork for the Trojans. Actually, he gets strung on nicely by the Wildcat defense. He might have got back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and again, too, we talked about people staying home early in the game. It was a Trojan touchdown with the fake and the wide open spaces that the Trojans ran through. You stay home, you stretch it out. The sideline is your friend. Looks like a no-gainer, 2nd and 10.
York ran a similar play coming the other way, and that's where he went 35 yards untouched for that 20-0 lead. And it looked like this one was it was just a matter of time. Let's get this over. But the Cats have definitely responded. Here comes Cockrell for the Trojans. That's a first down out across the 40, down about the 42-yard line. 15 yards for the big back for the Trojans.
He got into that second tier of tacklers pretty quickly. The line play, the defensive linemen were not blown off the ball, but when you get through that hole that quickly and you're in that second tier, you can get a first down in a hurry.
And this is what we saw Wayzata do back in the first quarter for those of you that are just joining us. They took it to the Cats. I think at one point total yards were something like 96-3 after 2 drives apiece. And Trojans, can they go to the house? No, they're going to be dropped on at about the 29-yard line of Eagan. Nice gain by Wayzata, and guess who? That was Cockrell once again.
Well, if we're setting up like we started this game off, it's going to make for a whale of a fourth quarter because they came flying off the ball like this in the first. They had their way with the Wildcats for about a quarter and a half. The Cats got back involved, and that's where we're at right now. But right now the Trojans are on the move.
Cockrell, 2 carries, 44 yards on the last 2 Trojan plays. Looking to the sideline is the signal caller for the Wayzata Trojans, Keaton Hyde. He's a 6'3 junior, wears number 13 for Wayzata. High snap. Actually, he'll keep it. Oh, he gets a huge block there. And Poplinski with a stop for the Wildcats, but we do have a flag on the play. Cats are clapping like it's going to be against the Trojans.
You know, from we have no replay, Mike, so we can't look at it. But you know, he did not hit him fully on the front of his person. He was turned. Was it worth a flag? I don't know. Again, if it was even questionable, it's been the story of the Trojans tonight. Infractions. Back them up.
And this one's going to be another personal foul against Wayzata, so this is going to mark them back 15 yards. And that momentum the Trojans had is quickly abated, shall we say.
I would agree. And again, we don't know that it was an absolute perfect call, but again, too, you got a guy out in space who's turning his body. That block was made on at least the backside of his shoulder. You don't crack back in that zone, there's the flag.
Early stages here, quarter number 3. Wayzata with the ball for the first time here this half. They took the kickoff. A couple of big gains. Personal foul. There's those things. They're going to throw it right away. Got his man across the middle. This is going to be a deep play for the Trojans down to the 15-yard line. Revere with the reception, and that's a 28-yard pickup.
Hit him in stride.
Just hit him right over the middle. Actually, they're going to spot the ball at the 17. 26 yards instead. So first down in the red zone are the Trojans.
And that would be a perfect example of an opportunity that the Wildcat defense picked up that they kind of let slip away by that big cross over the middle catch.
Boy, straight ahead, Varsity had a big hole to run through. Gets down to about the 8-yard line. Schultz in there to finish him off for the Wildcats. Tell who got the first hit for Eagan. Might have been 19 out there for the Wildcats. That is Kozamzik. Hope I'm saying that close to right. And we've got a whistle, and we've got a timeout taken by the Wildcats. Probably not a bad idea right now.
No, slow things down just a wee bit. And again, too, big penalty. Boy, just a huge penalty to stop that drive in its tracks. A little bit of looseness. That up front pressure wasn't there. It was a quick pass, wide open and stride over the middle, and kind of a missed quick tackle. And then you get your first down. That's where we're at right now.
A quick opportunity. Let's talk some other Eagan sports. Congratulations to the girls tennis team. They're going back to state. Beat Eastridge 5-2 Thursday for the section title after beating Sibley 5-2 in the section semis on Tuesday.
Congrats.
I know individual play was going on earlier today. I've not heard results yet, but again, I saw Samantha Nichols for the Wildcats, I think was ranked 6th individually in state the other day.
Very nice.
So volleyball, they continue to roll. 19-1 top rank in the state. Swept Apple Valley on Tuesday. They've won 27 straight games. It's just 10 straight sweeps.
Wow.
They got 2 matches left. Shakopee here on the 17th, and then they're at Eden Prairie on the 19th. You can buy your tickets now for the Cats at the X.
Absolutely.
State volleyball tournament. Dominating performance again by the ladies.
Kind of a dynasty.
More than kind of.
Yeah, right on.
It's almost Lynx-like. And they're going to hand off Vassar straight ahead. He's not even touched till the 3 dives into the end zone. Touchdown Trojans. 7 yards out, Vassar.
Christian Vassar, he carries 7 yards. Touchdown Wayzata.
Boy, he didn't get touched, I said, till about the 3, might even been the 2. Just a good job by that Wayzata O-line.
He's a tough runner, too. You get that far downfield, running downhill, you're not going to stop him on that last couple of yards.
So it puts the Trojans up by a 26-17 count. In comes Reed Sanders, who I believe 0 for 2 tonight on extra points.
That would be correct. It's kicking weather, too, so we'll see what he does on this one.
It's on its way. That one looks much better. And the officials agree. So with 9:50 to go in the third, it's now Wayzata 27. Your Eagan Wildcats 17. Well, right now the Cats need to come back and respond. Wayzata right there, a 73-yard drive. They even had a personal foul on that drive, but of their plays, they had a 15-yard run, 29-yard run, 26-yard pass, 10-yard run, 7-yard run.
Well, you're not forcing the Trojans to just grind out and play smash-mouth football. They're putting the ball in big chunks. They're moving it down the field, and that's tough to defend. 5 plays, they eat up half the field. They had the ball to start the half. They've moved the ball in the first half. It's no surprise that they're going to, at least take a shot at moving the football. We did our best. We blew an opportunity as they backed themselves up tremendously. The offense will get the ball after this kickoff, and we'll see if they can go down and answer.
Change of kicker. Max Archibald to kick off for Wayzata, number 55. He was booming some during warm-ups earlier. From about here, he was hitting them routinely down to about the 10. This one will be shorter. At about the 14 will be Sundberg for the Wildcats. Looks for a seam. It's a little bit of one, and he'll maybe get out near the 30, maybe just across. Actually looks like right at the 30 as the judge comes running in. So the Cats to take over first time here in the second half. They now trail by 10 with 9:43 to go in the third.
We mentioned it's a great night for football. If I'm not mistaken, I think I smell a campfire somewhere, Mike.
I was wondering that too. I can smell that at halftime. I don't think it's the California fires.
No, I hope not. Hopefully they'll get those things under control out that way.
What a mess.
Boy, really.
Boy, you got to feel for those people. I mean, I've heard, you read stories about people that literally no chance to get anything, just get out.
Yep.
Hanson and the Wildcats looking to get something going. They're going to run it on first down, Lions, and he's going to lose a yard. A number of Trojans were in there on that stop, including Chad Smith, number 21 defensive lineman for Wayzata.
He ran into trouble. He had an opportunity to bounce it outside, which says that at least they weren't wrapping him up right away, but again, there was nowhere to go. The Cats threw the ball in that first half at different times. I'd love to see him go back to that in the second half.
I see Quantas in the backfield right now, and I was just kind of thinking, I wonder why he hasn't seen the ball more running. He had nearly 100 yards a week ago at Prior Lake, although Lyons was out with an injury. Hanson across the middle, he's got his man and couldn't quite hang on. That was Ernst, I believe, the intended target for the Eagan Wildcats.
Hit him right in the hands in stride, and there was a defender right there, and somehow wrestled it free.
So it's going to be 3rd and 11 upcoming for the Wildcats. This would be shades of the opening quarter continuing, as that early on, Wayzata went down, scored. He couldn't do anything on offense.
It was tough.
And then it totally flipped.
Yeah, it was tough sledding in that first quarter for the Cats.
The chance is going to move from right to left. Cats with a 3-receiver set. Hanson's going to go far side. Got his man across the middle. Is that enough?
He's got the stick, it looks like, too, Mike.
And that's going to be, I believe, Sundberg. Take that back. That's Woods on the reception. And the Cats do move the sticks with the 11-yard completion. First down Cats. Boy, do they need that one.
You talked earlier, Mike, about Caden Hanson's numbers across the competitive universe in this district or this conference not being too bad.
Here comes in Quantu. We talked about just a moment ago. 50, 45, 40. What kind of jets does he have? Can he go 59 to the house? He can. 6 points. Eagan.
He just slowly shifted gears at about the 40. He picked up speed. He was gaining speed and hit top speed about the 20. He actually veered away from the sideline just a little bit, anticipating a hit or a push to give himself that space. Unabated, great run. Love to hear him get his name called.
And you know what? A lot of nice blocking.
They're absolutely.
They really were able to spring him. He got to that outside.
No, once he got wide open, it was all the blocking that got him there, and then it was just some really impressive speed that took him down to the stripe.
Willis to make this a 3-point game. Kick is up. Kick is good. Wayzata came close on that one.
They sure did. They've had a lot of pressure on our right side all night, but apparently it's not quite enough. Nice work, Cats. Mixed it up through the air on the ground. Some tremendous blocking just inside the box, and as you move downfield, once Naquanta got there, goodbye.
When you think about that play right before that pass to Woods right at the sticks, you needed 11, you got about 11 and a half.
Right on, exactly. Finding the line to gain is key. You don't want to have to go out and do a 3rd and 2 when you could have had it just by the route.
So 8.5 to go now in the third quarter, 27-24. Wayzata leads the Wildcats.
They countered, they got punched right away in the second half, but they countered much more quickly than they did in that first half. So this could be quite a second half and certainly entertaining for everybody who's out here on this perfect night.
I know you can't bet on high school games. You shouldn't. 51 for an over-under. Who would have thought 51?
Yeah, I don't know, Mike. I would agree 100% that it actually crossed my mind that who would have thought it was going to be a high-scoring affair.
And we're only 3.5 minutes into the second half. I mean, this could be what, first team to 45?
Wow, it would be wonderful.
So Willis to kick off. Let's see how far this one goes this time. And again, Wayzata is going to get it at about the 27, across the 30, near the 35, still on his feet. And gets down about the 37-yard line. Nathan Roth on the return for the Trojans. So Wayzata on their own 37. They're up by 3 with 8:22 to go now in quarter number 3. And we mentioned earlier, in their previous 5 games, Wayzata had scored 27 points.
We decided that once they get there, they're done, so this could be it. The Cats defense, hopefully they can keep that in mind. Again, the guys up front are doing a great job. Hopefully they got big wind in their lungs tonight, because they're going to need it to get that quarterback off his game, out of the pocket, and make him make bad throws.
You know, and really, you look at a pair of teams that come in here 1-5, both looking to get some momentum going here as we approach the end of the season and head into the postseason. They both are seeing lots of positives tonight. We see another flag.
Boy, they came from all over the place.
That
but
one,
no, both teams, like you said, Mike, there's some flashes of brilliance.
And like I said, both coaches said that. But they said we've got to put together 48 solid minutes of football. False start, by the way, on the Trojans.
You know, Mike, you have the numbers in front of you, but I'd be willing to bet that there's been an awful lot of flags thrown in the Trojans' direction tonight.
Yeah, I meant to count them at halftime and didn't, but
and
yeah,
big ones, too.
They've got to be up to, what, 8 or 9?
Couple of pass interferences, couple personal fouls, a lot of motion, things that are unavoidable. And at this stage of the season, things that you don't want to see happening.
And I think, I'd have to double check, but I believe 4 of them were on defense.
You want that aggressive play, but
here's Vassar bouncing to the outside, taken down nicely on the near side by the Wildcats. That is number 19 up on the play for Eagan. We've called his name a lot tonight, Ben Kozemzek. Boy, I hope I'm getting that right.
We've tried to call it a lot tonight, haven't we?
Kozemzak. Listed as a D-back.
Now, what a big tackle in open space, because if he jukes him, it's off to the races, and that pushes it up to second down and long.
So 6 yards, I think, on that carry for the Trojans. Vassar. And give it to him one more time. And that time he's met by a number of Wildcats. First man in the big number 99, Abdu Seif. 6 foot, 243-pound senior. About 4 yards on that carry for the Wayzata back.
You know, they kind of fell forward for most of those for him, Mike. They did make good contact, probably well close to the first, to the line of scrimmage. Third down, relatively long, 5.
Yeah, they need to get about the 47.5, so about 5.5 here on third down.
Let's see those guys up front do something here.
A lot of options here for the Trojans.
You got linemen pulling all over.
Vassar, he falls to about the 45. He's going to be a couple of yards shy. He was tripped up on his way through.
Well, typically when they trip like that, you have to either say lots of penetration or some linemen with big feet. And I'm going to go with penetration. Brings up fourth down.
Interesting call here for Lambert Brown and the Trojans. You're up by 4 with 6.5 to go in the third, and they are going to go for it. Are you trying to draw Eagan off right here?
I would assume so. And do the Cats get creative with their stunt package?
For the audible potentially from the sideline.
The backers are clapping. They're commending those front 4 guys for staying on sides.
How are you going to do the hard count? They are going to go.
Might be a delay of game.
Yeah, or let's take a look. You called it, Ken. There we go.
Right.
Delay of game on the Trojans.
That'll make it a little more interesting. Go from 4th and 2 to 4th and 7.
And I also think this is where you bring in the punt team.
I think you have to. The game's too close.
Yeah,
Mike.
here come.
And here they come. Boy, we're just up here calling this game. Maybe we should be on the sideline.
About 8 or 9 new Trojans coming out of the field.
Nice work, defense to stay on side. That's tough.
It
I
is.
mean, you are gearing up for a big play, probably just a pounder up the middle. So you're just ready to rock and roll, and they get that hard count going. The linebackers were just giving a nice standing ovation for those guys for staying on side.
Sundberg back at the 30, high kick, not a lot of distance. Cats just got to get out of the way. Favorable bounce for the Trojans.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to roll just inside the 25-yard line, where the Cats will take over with 5:53 to go in quarter number 3. Down by just 3. Eagan yet to lead this game.
Well, they're within a score right now, so now could be the time. Again, now what do? You come out. You've had the ball several times tonight. Do you give them a different look? Do you go through the air? We've had luck through the air. We've had luck on the ground. Big blocks sprung our running back for that last touchdown. Maybe there's been some motivation on the side of those linemen. Much more favorable weather to play 2 ways and things of that nature. So we'll see if we can keep that momentum and that strong play going.
As we said, for October 13th, not bad. It's about 55 probably right now. Here comes Lyons, lowers that shoulder. Gets a few extra yards.
A couple of flags, and it's hard to say, Mike, what that could be. I mean, was there a hold behind the play? Was there a face mask I would maybe go with?
I'm thinking the hold judgment about where that flag is. There's 2 flags, actually. Or maybe, I don't know if it was the same penalty. We said Jason Berg, our referee tonight.
No,
Neither team moving.
No, now he is.
There it is, holding on the Wildcats.
Those were tough yards, too. I mean, that was a great play. He turned the corner, threw the shoulder, fell forward for another yard just to have it come back. So a backside hold against the Wildcats. We were just telling everybody how strong that line's played the last series or 2.
Just trying to look back. Is that the first penalty on the Wildcats? I think it is.
Hansen flushed.
He got out across the 20, lost the ball out at about the 24, went out of bounds.
Might have picked up a yard after he hit the turf.
So Hansen on the run, 14, takes it out to about the 24-yard line, gain of about 5. That his first rush tonight?
I think so. He hasn't been under tremendous pressure where he's always had an outlet.
Yeah.
So that very well might be his first. He ran the option a few times and he's gotten rid of it every single time.
3 receivers right, 1 left. Just 5 on the line for the Cats. Hansen, now he's going to have to run right. He's in trouble. Looking, and he stays on his feet. And makes something out of nothing.
Boy, he sure did. And there's a foul.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was close. Trevor Palish with the hit, 44, the linebacker.
Again, too, when players are keyed up and they're making these types of mistakes, we'll take it. But the key is for the Wildcats is how do you respond? How do you seize that opportunity that you've been given? I think we're going to go with an out of bounds hit. Correct, Mike?
I think so. But it was close. Well, when I initially saw it, I thought it was going to be a flag out of bounds. Officials do agree, and Eagan's going to get a first down up at the 45-yard line.
These are kind of subjective. This isn't, all the penalties that they throw, aside from a false start or an encroachment, they're subjective. There's a lot of, opinion that has to be infused into it. It just so happens that it's going against the Trojans tonight.
Big time. Hansen, maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage. We mentioned Andrew Yogi early on, the big 300-pounder. He's nearly wrestled Hansen to the ground behind the line.
He's tough to move. It's 2 guys on him, just 2 hats just to keep that guy from, doing his entire will on this front 5, the linemen.
So second and about 9.5 as we're down to 4:44 to go in the third. 27 for Wayzata, 24 for the Wildcats.
They've given Hansen time when he's wanted to pass. He's been flushed.
3 receivers. He's going to go far side and couldn't quite hang on over there. Was that Ernst? I'm not sure. Can't tell. No, I think that was Woods, actually, number 18. Bottom line is it's going to be 3rd and long for the Wildcats. A catch that should have been made.
I would agree. They're putting the ball in the air. I like it. Student body coming alive.
Yeah. A little noise coming from the Wayzata side, too, as well. Good crowd making the trek down 494 and Cedar and whatever to get here. Hansen going to go deep down the far side. That ball is, unable to catch it. Good defensive play back there by the Wayzata Trojan D-back. That was Chiraka, number 25.
Mike, if that flag goes against the Trojans, and it was a legitimate call, and we can't see a replay on this, they're walking the ball up to at least start marching it in one direction or another. That defender had position on that receiver, so if he did reach, grab, do something that he wasn't supposed to do, it really was a blown opportunity. I haven't decided which way this is going yet, have you?
There it is.
It is against the Cats.
Interference on Eagan,
They declined it.
Declined it, yeah, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I was kind of saying that the defender had such great position, he would have had to do something really, really thoughtless for a flag to go on him. Interesting call, though.
It was.
4th and 9, and they tried to bite 20 off.
So Sackmaster to kick it away for the Wildcats. Engdahl is going to be the see that? I believe that's Engdahl deep for the Trojans. High kick. And it's going to go out of bounds at about the 24-yard line. It would take, there was Benenga back deep for Wayzata. And now you're going to spot the ball at the 20, it looks like the 24-yard line with 4:16 to go in the third. Wayzata up by 3.
The defense, I think this is one thing that we really haven't even discussed a whole lot. Assuming there's not a lot of guys that are seeing double duty, the defense has had a chance to catch their breath a bit. So if they can come out and they can put some pressure on that quarterback, stuff some of those holes, keep up with those receivers, we could have a decent defensive stand here. We got them backed up a little bit. Probably is least a favorable field position they started on almost all night. Let's see what the Cats can do.
From their 24, and they're going to run it straight ahead. Out near the 30 was Cockrell. He'll get about 5 on that carry for the Trojans.
2 yards past the line of scrimmage before he encountered a guy in gray and then fell forward for a couple more. They're up to the line already, Mike.
Actually, they're going to give him 7 on that carry. Cats, just 4 down linemen. No sign of a blitz coming. Same play. Trojans, a little different results. Stood up by a number of Wildcats. It's going to be 3rd and 1, Wayzata.
See what kind of spot they give them. Yeah, it was a nice, favorable spot. About 3rd and 1, like you said.
Yep. Yeah, I was just thinking a little bit ago, you know, name we have not called yet tonight. Michael Melville. Eagan safety. I mean, here's a kid. I think he's getting 5 interceptions on the year, which that might also explain why they haven't tested him tonight and we haven't called his name. But here, yeah, he is definitely the quarterback on that Wildcat defense.
I would agree, and I'll tell you something. The fact, if in fact he's not making a ton of tackles, they are moving the ball, but that also says that that linebacker core is at least slowing things down up to that point.
And
but they're probably not throwing.
Yeah, Cockrell got about 4 there. That's going to be a 1st down Trojans. Had a chance to stop him back at about the 35, which would probably still been enough.
You know, Mike, I like the tempo of this game right now. If you look, they picked up a 1st down. They've moved the ball. You know, they moved the sticks once. The clock runs. We're getting close to the 4th quarter here, and this is a 1-score ball game.
Yeah, we're inside 3 minutes to go now in the 3rd. Are you looking to throw? He will. He's going to go across the middle. He's got his man. That's going to be inside.
That ball's on the ground, Mike.
Who's got it? We got a scrum at the 47.
I think Wayzata picked it up initially, but his back was on the ground. The ball was up, which could mean it could be anybody's ball for a tug of war, but it looks like it's going to be
Wayzata football.
You know, he hit him in stride, and it was interesting because the fake that the quarterback laid down was to his left. There was no running back or anything over there.
I think it was Engdahl was the target on that one.
The big chunks is what killed the Cats in the first half. If they can keep these gains a little more reasonable and make the Trojans move the ball, keeps the game closer.
14 yards there. Trojans across midfield once again. There's Cockrell. At about the 44-yard line. Give them 3 that time. Cats will take that as a defensive stand.
Absolutely. They're tough up front, but again, they're getting tired. It's tough sledding up there. There's some big boys on that Trojan offensive line.
Let's just look at my roster. Another name we have not mentioned is Mason West, Eagan linebacker.
2nd and 6.
Going to the ground
Same
again.
play, bounces to the outside, and he's wrapped up, thrown down on the far side.
I'd say 1 TFL on that one.
And try to catch the Eagan number again, the hard-to-read Wildcat uniforms.
This box is starting to move, which means the pit's starting.
I think it was Jack Stump on that one with a stop.
For no gain.
Yep. Ball's going to be spotted at the 43-yard line. Might have got 1 on that one, but yeah, yeah, you definitely mentioned the stands are jumping, the place is hopping now just off the hands, and it's going to be 4th down Trojans. Engdahl, the intended receiver.
That ball was just a little off the money, but again, the coverage was good. Might even gone through the receiver's hands a little bit.
Now a very interesting call by Lambert Brown.
You got 4th and longish. It's a tight ball game. You are in Wildcat territory, but not by a long shot. It's a short field if they turn this over, Mike.
And you've been moving the ball.
Absolutely.
And you've been able to run the ball with some success. You're able to throw. You've got a 3-receiver set. Cockrell's in the backfield.
Oh boy.
There's Bjork.
Ball's on the ground, Mike.
And the Cats got it at the 48-yard line. Trickery by Wayzata. Not this time.
Again, too, now, Mike, we said that right now we're saying thank you. Let's see what we can do with that opportunity. Well done, guys. That is good awareness on the field. That ball hit the ground, pounced on it instantaneously. Did you catch a number?
Well, it looks like I thought it was 56, Antonio Stepan, but
nobody seems to be carrying him off on his shoulders
no,
quite yet.
He's listed as no lineman. So, bottom line is the Cats have the ball.
We'll start there, and the Cats do have the ball, and in Trojan territory.
On the 47 with 1:25 to go third quarter. They trail by 3. Little Sundberg left to right. Hanson, he's going to run the pitch, and Quanta, he drops the football, and it's loose. We've got a scrum at the 42, and I think the Cats got it back. I believe Hanson dove in there and got it. A little pushing and shoving by both teams. But the Cats do hang on to the ball. Dangerous situation there for the home team.
And, we've run that play several times tonight, so it's just simply bad luck.
Yep.
Although Caden did kind of encounter that guy that he has to option a lot quicker and a lot different depth than he might normally. So it was kind of more of a lateral.
Yeah, it was a little behind in Quanta.
Absolutely.
3 receivers right for the Cats, 1 left. Quanta's in the backfield. Hanson will step up. He's got good pressure coming from the Trojans from behind. Downfield, ball is thrown, and it is.
Oh, wow.
A couple guys down there deep. Trying to see who that is for the Cats.
He got that pass off.
Might be Woods.
He had some pressure, and he did have his man. Maybe it was a little bit overthrown, but he was running for his life when he let that one go. Kind of an aggressive tackle after the ball went flying. The way the refs have been penalizing the Trojans, I tell my boys to be very careful out there because it's been raining yellow every time those guys get aggressive near the sidelines or after the whistle.
Well, I think it was LaChance actually. A little concerned. Hanson limping a little bit out there, the Eagan quarterback. Kind of semi-hunched over a couple times here between plays as he looked at the sideline for the signal.
He's been battered around a bit.
We'll see if that comes into play here as we get set for end of the third quarter here. Hanson across the middle and tried to find number 31 for the Wildcats, who's got a touchdown earlier tonight. That was Tyler Ernst. Instead, the Cats are going to be forced to punt this one away with 50.5 to go third quarter.
Tight ball game. Again, special teams are so key. Even a halfway decent punt here would back the Trojans up enough to give the defense a chance to do what they get paid to do.
Sackmaster, short kick.
Fields it.
Yep. That's Benninga. And he gets dropped down at about the 37-yard line or so as the haze starts to settle over Wildcat country. You know what? You know what today is, don't you?
I do, actually. It's Friday the 13th,
Absolutely.
Mike.
Do.
I brought a hatchet to a potluck today and wasn't very well received. But I'm not sure what this is. Is this that campfire, Mike, that we were talking about?
I don't know what that is.
Pyrotechnics, or is this London fog? Or I'm not sure what's going on here. But
I used to have a coat.
I think everybody's grandfather does. Let's go defense. The front four could be the key here.
Yeah, they're going to run it on first down straight ahead. Vassar, a good pickup there. He's going to get about 7 for Wayzata on what could be the final play of this quarter.
Mike, very exciting game. And we talked earlier about these two teams, these programs are in similar spots. They both are pretty thrilled about being right where they are right now in a real tight, spirited contest.
Yeah, Wayzata's going to get one off here before the quarter expires. And run it once again, Vassar. Much better job that time by the Eagan D, although Vassar keeps those legs moving. I think I count about 7 Wildcats in on that stop after a pickup of about 1. As the clock hits triple zeros, and it's going to be a 3rd and 2 for Wayzata as we get set for quarter number 4.
I'm not sure if it's a generous spot or the box is positioned very generously, but they stood him up, but those legs were moving. Let's go, 4th quarter, guys.
Hey, a couple of other Eagan sports updates. Girls soccer, they advanced to the section final. Beat Eastview on this field last night by a 2-1 count. Got the lone goal in the second half, and they are going to play Rosemount on the 17th, a Tuesday night, 5 o'clock over at Burnsville High School. Rosemount upset Burnsville last night by a 2-1 count. Caleb Reese's got 8 goals. Molly Bush 6 for the Wildcats. Boys soccer, their season ended last night on this same field. They lost 1-0 to Rosemont, who was seeded 6th. And Rosemont's going to take on 4th-seeded Apple Valley, who knocked off Eastview, who was ranked 4th in the state. They beat them 1-0 last night. So boys soccer finishes 9-7. Ryan Erickson had 8 goals. Adrian Morales had 7. We mentioned tennis volleyball. The swim team beat Farmington 96-88 earlier this week. They've got to meet with Lakeville North coming up on the 17th as well. 3rd and short for the Trojans. Vassar into the line, and the surge will get him out near midfield, and that will move the sticks. Like 58 in there. Jacob Larson, first man in for the Wildcats. Well, this is one where if you're Wayzata, are you able to just wear down the Wildcats now by running the ball?
Well, the clock is your friend. I mean, if they can move the ball on the ground and keep the clock moving, it's not going to hurt the Trojans' case at all.
With the Vassar once again, straight ahead. Lose a couple of tacklers. Sidestep Weston on the tackle for Eagan. But 6-yard pickup. Cole Sackmaster in there as well for the Wildcats. 6 yards, though, by Vassar.
You know, they're not 20-yard gains, Mike, but 6 will hurt you. All you need is 2 of them, and it's a first down.
Yep. Now you're looking at 2nd and 4.
And every time they put the ball between those tackles, those front 4 guys are tested to the max once again, and they are the ones that are going to feel it in their lungs here very shortly.
Minute gone by in the 4th. 27-24 Trojans. And wrapped up nicely that time and going down.
Big hit for loss.
Ryan Meekin for the Wildcats. Back to the 42-yard line.
Well, that certainly changes the complexion of that drive as you're knocking them off 5 and 6 yards at a pop, and then you go and hit a. Now, for some reason, I'm not exactly sure, Mike, what's going on here, but they called him in the grass.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's.
So it's only going to be a loss of 6 instead of 14. 3rd and 11 Trojans. Need to get down to the 40 of Eagan. 4 receivers.
Ball's up.
Going to go deep. He's got a man deep. Catches him in stride. Touchdown Trojans. And number 1, second reception of the game is Tyrese Sayin. That one's 51 yards.
51 yards. Touchdown Wayzata.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yep.
That's tough. That coverage was there for a while, but when he keeps running, you don't stop to wonder what he's running from. Take a beat. You go with him.
I don't know if the defender on that side thought he had help coming over.
He might have, because he needed it for sure.
Yes.
So if they didn't slide someone over that way, again too, it's a tit for tat kind of game here. It's a blow for blow thing. We get the ball back, we have to answer and answer quickly.
Sanders for the PAT. Cats just about got that one. And Sanders' kick is good that time, so it's the Trojans by 10 with 10:13 to go. 34-24 now our score here on ETV.
You know, just as importantly as how you respond when given an opportunity is how you respond when someone runs up and gets a touchdown on you or a field goal. We have an opportunity here to get the ball in Tate's hands on the kickoff, get some field position, get it downfield, and sustain a drive. If anything, just sustain a drive and come away with some points.
I'll tell you, you got to give Heedy credit on that throw too, because he hit him in stride.
He sure did.
Nice spiral.
Throw. Yep.
You know, he missed 4 games for the Trojans this year, and you makes you kind of wonder what would have happened had he stayed healthy. I mean, I've been impressed by what I've seen tonight.
Oh, he's thrown a nice tight spiral, and he's hit a lot of guys in stride and long passes too.
Well, and I think he's doing a nice job of running this offense too, and it helps. He's got guys like Vassar, Cockrell that are running the ball well.
Effective ground game, big guys up front. He's come out of the pocket and he's handled it kind of calmly, kind of coolly. And again, on that one there, he just stood tall and threw it deep.
Score update, Eastview leads Farmington 28-14 early 4th quarter.
Returnable, Mike?
Yep, Sundberg from what is 8. Looking for a seam. Squirts his way through, and he'll get up to about the 27, 20. Still on his feet.
That kid always seems to find a seam, and the pile always moves underneath him, and he's not overly large or overly powerful. He gets a good head of steam, and they don't seem to stop him on first contact.
Check this one out, by the way. Lakeville North comes to Eagan next week on Wednesday. Prior Lake 8, Lakeville North nothing. Final.
Oh my goodness, nice job, Prior Lake.
So maybe the loss to Prior Lake wasn't such an anomaly last week. So Lakeville North has scored 6 points in 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think we saw that coming.
No, we did not. We have them on a short week. If we can do something well here tonight, get a little momentum going, who knows?
Eden Prairie up 24-15, 5 minutes to go in the third. Good pressure that time by the Trojans.
Quick pass, hit the receiver in the hands, pretty much got to have those. Was that the sure hand of Tate Sundberg? It was, and we call his name all season long and like to talk about those hands. That was a 5-yard gain after the catch yardage, so 2nd and 10.
Rosemont rolling over Burnsville. It's 37-0 right now over at Bob Pate Stadium. Here comes Lyons. It's been a while since we've seen him carry the ball, as the offense has been pretty much air-oriented, and I think we're seeing why right there. That was not a good play by the Eagan rush.
Well, you know, the throws, the pass attempts that haven't connected have not been because of the pocket breaking down. They've not necessarily been because of bad routes. They've hit the receivers in the hands and they haven't hung on.
Yep.
Stay with the pass, Cats. Let's get this ball across midfield and go from there.
3rd and 11, down by 10 are the Eagan Wildcats. Hanson across the middle, and that was behind his intended receiver out there. That was 31, Ernst, and it's going to be punt time for the Wildcats.
Yeah, they kind of have to kick it away, Mike. It looked like a miscommunication there. Hanson didn't have a lot of pressure. The receiver was running a real free and easy route. The ball was well behind him. You almost wonder if he didn't pick the wrong spot.
So in the last 3 Eagan drives now, they have 1 first down, and that was due to a late hit on Wayzata. This drive is going to get a -1. Drive before that, -12 on the fumbled pitch. Looks so good in the second quarter, the Eagan offense did.
Well, we're slow starters, I think,
Absolutely.
right now, and let's see if we can't get to that point now where we actually get started as that haze starts to settle on the field,
Definitely
as
does.
do the yellow flags.
Seen one of those for a while.
It's been a while. There's actually been a number of the Cats have not been highly penalized at all. Maybe one we
I
decided.
think that's what we said on
Everything else has been Trojans. So all indicators would say it's against Wayzata, but we'll see what happens here.
The thing is, it's going to be after the possession change, so Wayzata is still going to have the football. And they lead by 10.
Yeah,
First
personal
foul
foul.
on the Wildcats, actually.
Well,
That might have just been a frustration play.
It could have. The defense has got their work cut out for them. Now they got a short field, pretty short. So we'll see what happens here. The front four, they're rested, but they've been out there more this second half than they had been down the stretch in the first.
And Wayzata's going to take over at the Wildcat 39 with 9:05 to go.
Up by 10.
Yep. I might be surprised to see this ball in the air anytime soon.
No, I would agree.
The way they've had success running the ball.
Yeah, and you know that it comes into an endurance thing when you're getting down this late in the game and you've got that big guys up front.
Now, Wayzata's Cockrell's now the feature back. He's going to fall ahead for about maybe a couple. Kind of tripped over his own lineman on his way through.
So I think what the Wildcats need to do, Mike, you and I understand what's going to happen here. It's going to be between the tackles, maybe take it outside once, don't flirt with the sideline. The Cats need to do something inside to get them into a kicking situation, and quickly as the clock runs with under 9 minutes to play in the fourth.
I think Apple Valley improves to 6-1, 38-14 over Hastings. They're going to be a team to watch in Class 5 when we get to the postseason. This will be Cockrell once again. He bounces to the outside, avoids one tackler, and finally pushed out of bounds at about, what's that, the 34, 33-yard line. Let's see what the spot is, but it's going to be 4 or 5 yards on that gain.
Yeah, they actually gave us a pretty generous spot. I thought he got a little further downfield, but he did get out of bounds, which is not going to hurt the Wildcats. Called 3rd and 4.
Does stop the clock. And why wouldn't you just, 3rd and 4, give it to 34, don't you?
Yeah, I would agree. They've had tremendous luck up front. I don't know that they're doing a lot of fancy things defensively up front.
34, no chance. He's wrapped up by the Wildcat D.
Line of scrimmage if he's lucky, Mike. Let's see what kind of spot they
Tell
get.
which D lineman for the Wildcats got him. He's actually going to lose a couple of yards. Actually, they're going to say a loss of 1 by the time they do the official spot. So 4th and 5 as we're inside 8 minutes to go in this one. Or dare we say regulation? Wayzata by 10.
Yeah, it looks like there's a tie. They're kicking it
Yep.
of some sort has come
Yep.
out. I guess they'd have to say it's the punt team.
Absolutely. And I think the right call here, I think. You may as well pin the Wildcats deep.
I would agree. They've got
Nobody back.
and no real reason to fake it.
No.
Oh boy.
Kick is up. Not a real good one.
No.
You might, boy, the result of that kick is from the 34. Eagan's going to get the ball at it's like about the 20. Where are they going to spot it?
One is where he's standing on the far sideline.
So that's a 13-yard punt.
Yeah, we'll take it.
Now, again, hindsight 2020, you could have went for it.
Absolutely.
But so Eagan, 7:26 to go, trail by 10. I'm going to call this a must-score drive.
We dodged a bullet with Wayzata moving the ball effectively on the ground that last drive. Let's see if we can capitalize. Stay in the air.
Hansen's got 3 receivers to work with. They get 4 because there goes LaChance out of the tight end spot. He's going to try and come near side. That ball nearly picked off the hands of, it's like 25 we've called before. That was Chiraka.
The Cats were running some sort of a timing route over on this side where Hansen's actually throwing the ball to a space. The receiver needs to turn, make his move, and come for it. The defensive back saw what was going on and actually ran the route a little in advance of the receiver.
Yeah.
A nice bullet dodged. Did clock stop.
If that ball's underthrown at all, it's 6 the other way. Sunbury goes in motion. Wayzata going to show blitz. Here comes in Quante, tries to cut it up, and he's met by a number of Trojans. He included number 11, Cranny, and 14 C's. 22 is the line of scrimmage, so they're going to lose 1 on that play are the Wildcats.
You know, because of the penetration that the Trojans have gotten when we've tried to option, it hasn't been terrifically successful. It looked like they had an outside linebacker or somebody actually crashing, which further disrupted that play from getting started, Mike.
Yeah, I think it was Matthew Otto coming from the left side. He kind of took a step back, and then he came full speed
He
ahead.
sure did.
And he's the one that nearly met in Quante with the ball at the same time. So 3rd and 10 for the Cats. Hansen fakes the handoff. He's going to look left. He's going to air it up. Ball is in the air. A little incidental contact. Out of bounds. And it's going to be 4th and 10 for the Wildcats.
Time's becoming an issue now, Mike. You're kicking the ball away, obviously, but you need a big play. We've talked about it all year. We've seen this defense do big plays. Interceptions are nearly off the table. Wayzata will not put the ball in the air. So they need to practice, get the hands on that ball and try to get it on the grass. At the very least, bing, 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 and try to get them 3 and out themselves.
It's Sackmaster to kick. Going to go back deep for the Trojans. High snap. Oh, good job of getting it down. Sackmaster's got to run, though. 20 out to the 24-yard line.
Tough break for the Cats.
Bad snap. As I look down, there's a few people getting out of their seats on the home side, heading for the exits. With 6:27 to go, and Wayzata going to take over deep in Eagan territory at the Wildcat 25-yard line.
Awful short field. They're just going to power the ball up the middle.
Absolutely.
You know, bad snap. Sackmaster he did a great job of not letting it go through the uprights. I don't know that there was that much pressure that he had to tuck it and go. He's got a better seat in the house than we do.
Yep.
He did the best he could. Short field. Let's see if the defense can strip that ball.
Going to have to at this point. 4 receivers for the Trojans. And they'll keep it with Heidi. And
Yellow again.
might have got back to the line of scrimmage.
Side judge up on the opposing sideline threw the flag.
Let's see what this one's going to be about.
Again, with the play going that way,
Oh, they're going to pick it up.
I picked it up.
Good. So it's a good first stop.
Seemingly the clock stopped and has not yet restarted.
Waiting for the official signal.
There we go. Okay.
6:10 and counting to go. So Wayzata, they play Maple Grove to wrap up the season. That's going to be at home on Wednesday, October 18th.
They're having a season up there, right?
And Lakeville North comes here on that Wednesday night.
At MEA week, it makes for a short week for everybody.
And it's going to be straight ahead. That's
Wow.
Vassar.
That was kind of an interesting move. Look, he was kind of doing some sort of a figure skating move. He was like doing some sort of a sop with camel or something. He was sideways and his whole body was in the air, and then the flags come in. So we'll see.
He did a what?
He did some sort of I've seen it on the Olympics.
A sawwood what the?
Hey, I never claimed to be a figure skating aficionado, but what he did scored big points. The pit's coming alive.
And by the way, I believe there was a penalty on the Wildcats after the fact. I gotta admit, I'm not a figure skating aficionado either, but I've never heard of, what do you call it, a sop?
A sop with camel.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, and again, too, they're doing what they planned on doing. It's right in their game plan now. Short field, short clock, up the middle, and a penalty, which I don't even know if we caught, Mike, what it was, but it moved him down the field.
All we saw is that it was on Eagan.
They can certainly get a first down again, too, so it's 1st and 10 from the 10 and a half.
Yeah.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, we're being told.
Vassar gets across the 10, knocked down by Sackmaster after a gain of a couple.
And the flags have been flying, but the Cats have done everything in their power to even that score in the second half. They've been probably more penalized in the second half than the Trojans.
Another final coming in pseudo-conference play. Shakopee beats Lakeville South 29-7. Rosemont 37-0 final at Burnsville. Boy, that's going to be interesting. Rosemont is likely going to get the number 1 seed coming out of our sub-district.
Wow.
For a team that started 0-2.
0-2.
There's Vassar. West and company take him down at about the 2.
You know, this is kind of the time of the game when you'd really like to not let that next score get in. It skews the box score. It's not as reflective as how close the game was for 3 quarters at least.
Right.
I think I'm not sure.
I think Wayzata's just taking plenty of time to get a play, and who can blame them? I mean, that's just good strategy.
It is. It's clock management.
Vassar, the lone setback. Will he get the ball? He will. He'll stutter step, and he finds the end zone, rides an Eagan player in, and it's 40-24 Trojans. Well, Wayzata had scored 55 points coming into this one total. They're now up to 40
in one game. Nicely done. Again, too, they've actually kind of had a very balanced attack. They've pounded it up the middle. They've thrown the ball way up top downfield.
Yep.
And they've tried to turn the corner on the ground as well. So, kudos to the offensive game planners for the Trojans. They've done a nice job tonight.
And the kick there looks like it's good. It is, and it's now 41-24 Wayzata. Well, the Cats are gave up 44 last week to Prior Lake. You're going to give up 41 tonight to Wayzata, who, let's be honest, they're not as good as Prior Lake. And you've got Lakeville North coming here in 5 days.
Right.
And you're going to have
and they're steamed.
I was going to say PO'd. Can we say PO'd on the air?
I think PO'd.
I know we can't say what it stands for, but PO'd.
So they're going to come in and try to move that football. And we know historically that aside from the last 2 games, Lakeville North can put points on the board.
And for North, I mean, they're going to come into that game and they're going to want to show not just Eagan, but potential playoff opponents that, hey, we're still Lakeville North. We don't have Wade Sullivan running, the ball like we did last year where, he can go left, he can go right. You're never going to see the guy because he's, 5'6", and
sure.
has been the big man up front and as fast as all can be. But they're, Brian Voss is going to have that team ready.
They've got some things to prove. There's no doubt about it. And the Cats, again, too, it's these kinds of games that you look at, the plays, the whole game, big gains as the Cats try to keep it.
They get out to the 40 there on the return.
Again, you got to give it to the Cats tonight. They did capitalize on some opportunities. They kept their penalties to a minimum. They took the ball up top. They tested it inside on the ground until they got some results. But to come up just short and then to give up kind of that last inning touchdown to make that score look just a little worse than it is. We do have the ball. We can cut into this lead. Let's see what we can do here. We've got the clock kind of working against us.
Well, you look at that last score. I mean, it was set up by the offense struggles and then the bad snap. It's just it's just become a quarter where really, if anything can go wrong, it has. And that ball is thrown into double coverage. Dangerous throw by Caden Hansen.
Yeah, and dangerous because Tate Sundberg is surrounded by 3 or 4 defenders, but also, too, he was thrown just to high enough. And Tate's a gamer. He's going up for that pass. He gets 2 hands on it. He's going to have a couple of gold helmets on him. And, move the ball upfield, though. I mean, you got to hand it to the Cats for definitely keeping that in mind.
Absolutely. 3:59 to go in this one. Cats down by 17. And that's a 3-score game, even if you were to get a quick touchdown and onside kick.
Yep.
And that rush is going to go to a negative sign before the number. Loss of about 2 that time on the rush. So as we said, you look at the Eagan offense this half. Unofficially, their last 8 plays now have gone for a -4 yards.
Yeah. And again, too, it's kind of that the program based on a host of factors.
Yes.
Numbers, size, different things like that. We will have fleeting moments where it's like, wow, look at the efficiency, and then we'll go right back to kind of moments a little more futile. And we have that, and that's just part of a program that's growing.
Hansen, he's going to go incomplete on 3rd down. And we've got a late flag. We might have a personal foul. It's going to be. I think it's going to be on the Wildcats.
I think it is too, Mike.
It's just a frustration foul.
Yeah.
And that's the one that you can't let happen.
You can't. And I'll tell you something. At this stage of the game, and given the scoreboard, you can say, "Hey, boys will be boys," and blah blah blah. But the bottom line is, when you run a tight ship, whether it's here, whether it's Wayzata, no matter where it is, you tell these boys that there's going to be a tight enough game. When that penalty flag, and it looks like the Cats think it might be against the Trojans, something might have been invoked, and it is against the Trojans.
Personal on them. Okay.
So the Cats' frustration was it was like his response to the foul. But one of these penalties in a tight game could be the difference in a game.
Absolutely.
So you don't want it to happen if you're getting handled. You don't want it to happen if you're beating someone badly. Keep the boneheaded penalties out of it if you can.
Exactly. And I think both you and I both thought that was on the Wildcats. I think they might have got the Trojan on the retaliation.
I think you're probably right.
I think the Cats might have got away with one there.
They could
have. 3:15 to go in this one. Hansen gets the ball at midfield, steps back, throws near side of him. Not sure, it looks like he was trying to get number 18 Woods.
Yeah, there's been the last several passes on this side. I wouldn't call it full-blown miscommunication, but as the receiver was running his route and turning inward, the pass was well off the back shoulder. And you don't move the ball real effectively when you got guys, you're throwing where they're not.
Unofficially, I've got Hansen 10 straight incompletions. That's un-Hansen, like, to say the least. He's going to step up. He's going to go deep. Got a man. Just overthrew it deep at the 5.
That looked like a Tate Sundberg jump, but I don't know if it was Tate or not. It almost looks like the receiver jumped and may have tweaked something in the process, and he looks like he might be running back a little gingerly. It was kind of an odd-looking attempt at that reception.
And that's the last thing you want right now is any kind of an injury.
Yeah, we're thin enough as it is.
And you're right, I believe. Yeah, that was Sundberg. So we're down to 3:04 to go. Well, bad snap off his foot, and I believe Wayzata came up with it. I think looks like it was number 44 dive it in there is Palish, P-A-L-E-S-C-H, Palish.
It's too bad, Mike, because we endured a lot of growing pains with our centering in the first several games of the season, but that had kind of abated for a while.
It had.
And then it's almost looked aproblematic at all. That one was a liner that never left the turf, hit Hansen right in the foot, and ricocheted right back into the arms of one of the defensive linemen.
Well, I'll tell you, let's look ahead here for Wayzata. They've got Maple Grove next week at Wayzata. Just saw an update on Twitter. Edina leads Maple Grove 28-17. So Maple Grove, they went into North and won last week.
Okay.
I think they've got one that maybe, I'm not sure this will be their second or third loss. I don't see any reason why Zeta can't hang with them if they play like this.
No, it's just been a balanced attack. It's been kind of smash mouth football. They've got the size. They've got the size in the backfield. They brought a good game to Eagan tonight, and the Eagan Wildcats responded as best they could, and they just kind of wore us down. If it was a 5-quarter game and we hadn't let this fourth quarter slip away from us, we may be looking at another resurgence as the Trojans keep moving it effectively on the ground.
Big run there. Gets it down to the 44. That's a, what do we got there? 6'4", 10-yard pickup for the Trojans.
Yeah, you can't answer that. When it happens 2-3 times a drive, it's hard to bounce back from that.
Tell you what, you a college football fan?
Absolutely.
Clemson about to get beat by Syracuse. So I'm checking the old Twitter here. Okay then. For those of you that are still with us on the web, we appreciate you hanging out with us here tonight.
Absolutely.
I just want to give you some other updated news. I think I saw the Astros led the Yankees 3-0.
Looks like the haze is lifted here in Wildcat Stadium, Mike, just a little bit.
By the way, for the Wayzata fans that are still with us, Eden Prairie 39, Minnetonka 21 final. That game was 18-15 Eagles at the half.
Yep.
As the clock winds down, we're down to 90 seconds to go. And this one, Cats are going to fall to 1-6. They've got Lakeville North in here on Wednesday night, the 18th. Long-range forecast, it's supposed to be really nice that night. So hopefully fans will come out, check out the Wildcats, be part of the Friday Night Lights, check out some of the vendors. I know Dunn Brothers Coffee was here tonight. I think I saw Chick-fil-A. It was Hardy Barbecue, I think, was out there. Again, just come on out. It's MEA weekend. Kids don't have school Thursday and Friday. You might as well come out and start it out. Watch the Wildcat football team.
Yeah, the Friday Night Lights has been a big hit. I know Chick-fil-A, we've got one coming into Eagan here, and they typically sell it on Friday nights, so it's been a popular draw.
So, I mean, that'll be... That's official now. Syracuse beat Clemson, by the way, 27-24.
Most of the pit is still here. Not all of them, but most of them. I think the pit may have the general population outnumbered almost, which is good. It's the student body. They're having a good time still.
Hey, it's homecoming. It's the pit. And you know what? Hey, give them credit. They packed the lower part of the home stands here tonight.
And if I'm not mistaken, there's a little event in the gymnasium tomorrow night here at the high school. Is that correct?
I understand there's a homecoming dance.
Good time.
That's always a big deal. And down to 25.7 first down Wayzata. Clock continues to roll. This one's going to go final. It's going to be Wayzata 41, the Eagan Wildcats 24. I'm sure Wayzata even have to run a play. If they do, looks like it's just a victory formation. They're going to improve to 2-5 on the season. They're going to have a split of their Dakota County Treks. They lost at Eastview a week ago. Only put up 7 points, and that was on the opening kickoff. Come into Eagan, beat the Wildcats by a 41-24 count. And depending how the seeds all play out in the playoffs, hey, they could have another trip to Dakota County, potentially with Rosemount or North or who knows. But you know what? Not a team I'd want to be playing.
No, I would agree. Again, too, they came across town tonight. They brought a balanced attack. We kind of went toe for toe with them, but we did have moments where we kind of dozed off at the switch, hence the last touchdown or two. Took a real close game at the half and into the third quarter, made it look a little more skewed than it was. I do think, though, that the Wayzata Trojans played a little more fundamentally sound football, aside from the penalties, but all in all, a great spirited contest. Yeah. And congrats to the Trojans.
Absolutely. Like I said, they got Maple Grove on the 18th at home. The Cats are home against Lakeville North that same evening. And then the 27th, it'll be playoff time. So come on out next Wednesday, be the Cats' final home game of the year because they won't have a home playoff game. But, yeah, so I think, like you said, Ben Hansen and the staff, they've got some positives to look at. Got to just, again, it's like both he said and Lambert Brown, the Wayzata coach, said we've got to put it all together for 48 minutes. Both teams had stretches. Wayzata just had more tonight.
Well, and like you said, Mike, they say put it all together for 48 minutes. Some teams had the luxury of going to sleep for a quarter. The teams that are in rebuilding years, the teams that are struggling with, sub 500 records, they don't have that luxury. We need to play much more closer to perfect football than some of the bigger schools do with the better records.
Yeah, well, we're going to find out 5 days from now if the Cats can play closer to perfect football when They take on Lakeville North, and you know what? ETV will be there. I'll be here. You'll be here. Evan Cook, our stat guy, will be here.
Absolutely.
The guys in the truck will be here.
With
Jeff
the truck,
and,
no less.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Burnsville had the truck, and they only lost 37-0, so we were closer. Ha. Anyway, that's going to wrap things up here in Wildcat Country. Once again, your final score, the Wayzata Trojans 41, Eagan Wildcats 24. So on behalf of the entire ETV crew, our stat guy Evan Cook, my partner Ken Merwin, my name is Mike Cook, and we say thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time for Wildcat Football on ETV.